all this time later, I'm still quite impressed with that actual intro. Hello, everyone! Hello, it's that time again. It's Cosmic Council time! And it wouldn't be a council if it was just me, would it? So, we've got Ned. And we've got Andy. It's full house. How are we all?
Oh, we're shout.
The measure of intelligence is what? The ability to read to change. Okay, fair enough.
Albert Einstein, apparently.
Who's put that? I'm sure he didn't write it like that, though.
Probably not.
And for the dyslexics out there.
Oh, goodness, we've already got people here. Joe, first one here, is there with his, well, he thinks it's comedy, as usual. Ben says, hello. Boo! Well, sod off then if you don't want to watch us. Piss off.
More sort of surprise. Boo!
Speaking loud.
Great booze up, Edmund.
Hellos. Lots of hellos. Brilliant. It's the usual crew, isn't it? Yeah, usual faces. Or usual lack of faces.
Yes. Avatars, mainly.
It's the usual text.
It is. Oh, we've got a Dave as well. Hello, Dave. How are you?
Hello, Dave.
Oh, I'm going to take that off. And there we are. Right, Bounty. Yeah, we've got our coconut content. Here we go. It's begun already. It's begun
I've not consumed the content yet.
You've not consumed it yet? No.
Not consumed it yet, no. So there'll be the contents will be in my tummy later. Yes.
Well, one of my daughters has just had one as well. We've got hellos all around. Brilliant stuff. Tim's with us. Hello, Tim. How are you? So we don't often get you in the live chat. I think it's twice on the trot. Oh, well, how have we all been enjoying the weather?
Melty.
Have I had a haircut? Not since I last saw you. No. I don't think so, anyway.
I need a haircut, but apart from that.
Yes. You had it on Sunday on your show.
Was it a coconut hair t-shirt?
Melting at work. Well, the shop tends to be perpetually cold, and even in there, it's been warm this week.
Oh, gosh. Wow. That says something.
It's very unusual. Very unusual. Right. Seems it tends to take a little bit longer recently to get through the news. Shall we
crack on?
Get straight into it, shall we? I'm not prepared for it at all.
Hey, don't matter. Let's just wing it.
Where's the first one? There we are. Until you guys actually pitched, Ed, I think it was mostly this week, pitched ideas for topics
this week.
Tonight.
I have been mostly pitching conversational topics.
Not chocolate topics. I do prefer chocolate topics. I love that.
Is there any other kind of topic?
So yeah, let's see if I can add this on. Is it that button? I think it's that button. And it's that one. It's there. Share. You can go away and add to scene. Yeah, I was going to suggest as a topic anniversaries, because this year seems to be quite a lot of anniversaries.
It's mid-80s, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, this is earlier, isn't it?
Well, that is, yeah, but I'm just thinking that a lot of them come out mid-80s.
Yeah, but let's get rid of the banner, because then it makes the image that little bit bigger. Can I make it any bigger? I don't think I can. No, that's about as big as I can make it. Yeah. So this is from Mondo, and as you may well have guessed, it is the 50th anniversary of Jaws this year.
Wow.
And it's not an action figure. It's a soft vinyl figure. So technically it's like a Safubi, like the Godzilla things that I collect.
Yeah.
But it's pretty damned awesome. I quite like this one. It's an interesting piece of kit.
That's an impressive jaw spread, it has to be said.
Yeah. It's got a fair old size to it as well. Look at that. That's pretty. That's pretty nice, is that?
Nasty.
Actually comes with accessories.
Of course.
That's Ben Gardner's head.
It certainly is.
He's going to need a bigger boat.
I need a bigger cage by the look of it.
Or a bigger body, perhaps.
And that's to give you an idea of the size. Jeepers creepers. Either she's tiny or that genuinely is quite large. 16 inches.
I don't know, but she's managing to, handle that 16-inch in her hands.
I bet she's very good at handling things like that, yes. And that's all the accessories it comes with. It's got interchangeable head.
All right, gosh.
So it doesn't have to have the burn marks on the side of it if you don't want it to.
Yeah, I think the burn marks are probably more from Jaws 2.
Yes, I think it did say something like that in the description, to be fair.
Right, okay.
Munching on the electrical cable.
Mm. Spoilers, I haven't seen that one yet. Surprise,
You haven't seen
surprise.
Jaws 2?
Not Jaws 2. I think on your recommendation, I haven't seen Jaws 2.
Spoilers, there's a shark in it. Again.
I figured that much.
No, I don't mind Jaws 2.
And
Jaws 2's okay.
also, as an accompaniment to that, Mondo are also releasing I believe it's the soundtrack. Yeah, it's a score on vinyl. And I didn't read up on this, but Deluxe Blood and Water. Yeah, my instincts were you've got the ocean blue, and then the red one after he's been munching.
Clever, yes.
So yeah, I think that's quite clever. Is that
Featuring pop-up shark fin display as well, no less.
And it looks like they're translucent, which the water would be, wouldn't it? Chum red. Look at that chum red. Oh, no, that's a different one, isn't it? Selections and studio rarities. I assume that was just the close-up in packaging of the other, but it's not. Wow.
No.
Very good. Very good. See, even I'm learning things. We will return to Jaws a little later. I was going to say this is something Ed can probably talk more about, but he's disappeared. Yeah.
No, it's here. I was just looking at it. I've got the soundtrack. I thought I had the soundtrack. I've got it now.
Oh, before we move on, actually, let's see what people are saying. It might be worth keeping up with the chat that way. Oh, Palps is with us. Hello, Palps. How are you doing? 10th anniversary of The Force Awakens. That's not one of the anniversaries we were going to be celebrating tonight. Commiserating.
Cat has arrived as well.
Ben likes it. He likes the shark. Cat. Hello, Cat. How are you? Hope you're well. Apart from your figures falling off your wall and pulling themselves off the packets. Terrible.
Uh-oh.
I can imagine Andy having that as a pet in his backyard.
My backyard lacks a swimming pool, I'm sorry to tell you. I can stretch to a water butt, but I don't think he'd be very happy in there, really.
Dave thinks it's creepy. Phil doesn't think that 16 inches is very long. Well, come and see me later and we'll see if you think it's that long then. Cat saying hellos. And does it come with a voodoo doll from Jaws 4? No.
No, because it's 50th anniversary of Jaws.
Yeah. Although it does come with a Jaws 2 head, as you pointed out.
I know that, which I find quite interesting in a puzzling way.
They're thinking ahead.
I mean, obviously, the Mondo want to give you extra head, which is never an issue, but...
I always know when Jaws is nearby as the orchestra starts playing that tune.
They do indeed.
Yeah. It is a piece of iconic music, is that, isn't it?
It
really is. It's been riffed on so much throughout the years.
Dum, 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 dum,
Jaws 3 and 4, nobody talks about them. They are god-awful. The first one I ever saw was 4, The Revenge.
I don't know. Hang on a minute. Yeah, hang on a minute. Jaws 3 does have the sort of like its saving graces. It did bring us Lee Thompson in a bikini. So there is that. There is that saving grace. Yeah. Let's not just dismiss it out of hand completely. There are some perks to that movie.
Fair enough.
There
Yeah,
you go.
as I was saying, Jaws 4 Revenge, it was the first one that I ever saw. It's the only one I saw as a kid. And I didn't even see the first one till many, many, many years later.
Our commiserations.
As a kid, I enjoyed it. I found it fun. I just thought we were all right. You know, I'm probably about
It's
6.
supposed to blow the bloody fins off.
There is a water-filled clear vinyl and an EP that has a bite taken out of it. I'm guessing that's that chum one that we've just had a look at there, because that's
It's got a bite. Yeah, it's got a bite, doesn't it?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Chomp.
Anyway.
Chomped.
Chomped.
Unless you're talking about an earlier vintage one. In this week's edition of Ed Goes to Find Something that has been mentioned.
It did. Your soundtrack.
Hello, Joe. How are you?
Can I help it, Dave, if I have an eclectic mix of paraphernalia? Or should I say ephemera?
Ephemera.
Ephemera.
Yeah, ephemera.
Good word, ephemera.
The Revenge apparently is disgusting. Sickening. But Tim loves Jaws 1 and 2. How's it going? And you're chatting amongst yourself then. Dirty Old Men. Well,
Shower every day. I take umbrage at that.
I've showered twice today, so far. Joe's doing well. Brilliant. Excellent.
It's Joe.
Are you feeling a bit better now, Joe?
We can move on. So, Ed, you probably know a little bit more about this. So, do you want to...
Yeah, that's the G.I. Joe Snowcat, which is a combat all-terrain vehicle from Hasbro G.I. Joe Classified. That's what that is.
It certainly is. It's also the latest announced HasLab.
I think it's all white.
Oh.
HasLab, bringing you the toys that they can't be bothered funding themselves.
Yeah, yeah.
And expecting you to pay for them. I've seen some images of it, and it looks really, really nice. If that's what you're into, I mean, yeah, people know I picked up the snake armor, but there was a specific reason I picked that snake armor up. Had it not been for that, it's not something I would have gotten. I have a small selection of classified figures, and again, there's a reason for that, but it's not a line that I would go deep into. But for people that do, this looks a really, really good addition to it. It's just a shame that it's going to be behind a HasLab thing rather than it being put into production.
Ed, sorry. Gap's here now. Shh.
Yeah, you're not allowed to talk when Gap's here, are you?
I'm not, no. No, none of that.
I think it's a pretty cool vehicle for anyone that's interested in G.I. Joe. I mean, to be fair, it could be used for other things, couldn't it? It doesn't have to be used for G.I. Joe.
But then again, I mean, I suppose what you have to do is you have to think as well. I mean, Hasbro probably... Well, actually, no. Hasbro won't have sales. They'll have the distribution figures for people who they've sold the product onto. No, sorry. They'll have sales figures through Hasbro Pulse. However, so, I mean, they could have gauged how well it'd sell by seeing how the snake armor sold and also the Night Stinger. You know, the Jeep that they did. I think last year. You know, so... But anyway, we'll see.
So all that what you've just seen is what comes with it as standard. If it manages to get past the first tier, then it will also come with that.
A tent.
Yeah. And it's an accessory pack, isn't it? That's all it is an accessory pack. I don't know how great this is, to be fair.
Which the only thing I could say would be useful for is if it's a fabric, you know, that they've got rather than like a soft plastic, you could recreate the scene from Austin Powers' Spy Who Shagged Me by shining a torch from behind it and then placing your figures so you get like a little silhouette, you know, outlining.
Team America World Police 2 coming at you.
It's what, sorry?
I said Team America World Police 2 coming at you.
Yeah. So it's like... and
if it manages to get to the next stage, then it will also get Flint with eggs and sausages.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
And a coffee, apparently.
Yes, and a coffee, yeah.
I mean, to be fair, that's not a bad-looking figure, is that?
It's not, to be fair. It's just annoying that they're locked into these vehicles, really, isn't it?
It is, yeah, it is. I mean, really, what they ought to do is after a set amount of time, they ought to make the figures available as like single releases.
Yeah, possibly as a variant. Maybe change the hat colour or give him a different coloured jacket or something, just to keep them exclusive to the set.
Yeah.
It's really interesting, though, isn't it? Because, I mean, presumably that's based off an old vehicle, yes. But, I mean, if you took the action and force wording off that box, that could be anything.
Yeah, it's quite generic, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which I actually think is one of its positives.
Yeah. Because you could use it in any scenario.
Exactly.
It's not
so
wedding.
do we have a so the three figures that potentially come with it? Obviously, we know Flint's one of them. Who's the other two?
One was Frostbite somebody.
Yeah, the first one is Frostbite.
See, I was paying attention.
Farley Frostbite Seaward, yeah.
Yeah. And she's nameless because she doesn't matter, because women don't matter, do they?
Yeah, but right, okay, that explains it now. That's why there's a frying pan and some food and that.
Exactly,
so
yeah.
She needs something to do. While they're on mission, she's going to cook them breakfast
and make them coffees.
Yeah, it makes
That's
sense.
why it comes with a kitchenette, Andy.
That's why it comes with a kitchenette. You go, Hasbro. This is Hasbro's forward thinking.
We've chucked a female figure in, but we haven't bothered to make up a name for it.
Gap's joined us. Hello, Gap. How are you doing, sir?
It's like, Flint, Frostbite, I've made you packed lunch. You can go off on your mission now.
We're still talking about Jaws, apparently. Palps remembers seeing it in the cinema in its 78 rerun.
Palps must be very ancient.
Oh, ice didn't know they were making this. Hello, Stu! How are you doing, sir? It's been too long. You're very tempted by this HasLab, but lack of space is an issue. Yeah, that's the problem with these big HasLabs, isn't it? The space. They do take up an awful lot of space. Hope you're well, mate. I really do. Looks like a moon buggy. Well, there you are. That's another use for it, I suppose. Everyone inside would die because it doesn't have airtight doors.
But apart from that, if they had spacesuits.
Yeah. Apparently, Gap's favourite bald redhead guy is here. Where? Because none of us are redhead.
No.
Yes, it comes with a pull-out kitchenette. Sold. Dave's going to get it for his missus. We're going to be running with this all night, aren't we? It's a tent. That's all. Well, it's not even that, is it?
It's a lean-to.
It's half a tent. It's a bivouac.
Oh, where's it gone?
Other way. To the way. That's it.
Other way.
There we are. Because it's only got one side.
And it's got like a little sort of like cot bed as well, and
it's got to face into the prevailing wind. I think that might be a campfire, actually.
Steve, yes, it is. It's a campfire. Hello, Steve. How are you? On a great big telescope or spotting scope.
Smoke me a kipper. I'll be back.
Fried eggs. Wowza.
It is. It's a pretty cool set.
It is.
But again,
means a cup of tea and toast, does that figure?
Yeah. I'm just not on board with these HasLab things, especially from a company like Hasbro.
Joe. Bet they thought this was an excellent, but the backing numbers look intense. Oh.
Nice.
No, Joe's had a great idea. You could use that to drive about with Andy and Ed as a battle wagon, and also you all trying to squeeze into it. We might be able to get one of our hands in it.
Or we could load you into the missile launcher and see what happens.
It seems like Flint is the cook. Yeah, but that's not funny.
What?
And they need Flint to light the fire.
Seems like Flint is the cook.
Because
he gets the accessories.
Spoilers.
Oh no! I think that's probably just they're just trying to deflect. Yeah. I think the reason why is because they're already cooked.
Yes, they're already cooked and they've been handed.
They're already cooked. They've been handed to him, ready for him to begin consuming.
He shot the
Quickly
pig
before
with chickens
before we
early.
do move on, can I quickly mention, just going back to Jaws myself, there is one Jaws 50th anniversary thing that's been released.
It's coming up. It's coming up.
That I am quite interested in, and that's the
It's a Transformer, isn't it?
NECA. No, it's NECA that's remade the
Oh,
Jaws
that's years
game.
old. It's not coming up.
No, that's what I'm saying though. But it's sort of like it's. I think they've repackaged it and redone it for the 50th anniversary. And yeah, so it's like a repackage of the old Jaws game, but they've redesigned it as well. It looks really nice.
Yeah, G.I. Joe go on holiday and blow stuff up.
Apparently, Rumble's going to be in the tent, if you catch my drift. But where's Frenzy going to be staying?
Friends is what's going to happen once the hypnol kicks in.
Hughes just opened up the snake battle suit, and it's a lot bigger than he thought. That's a good thing, isn't it? Unless you've got nowhere to put it.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
And really, you need 3 of them, don't you?
Of the snake armour.
Well, that's why they've put 3 on the front of the box, isn't it?
I don't know, to create the sense of a battle scene going on.
Indeed.
Oh, Red
The
Rumble.
3 would be nice.
Red Rumble, says Dave.
So how much?
Always.
How much has your armor already appreciated? Do you think?
The armor.
Yeah. How much more is it worth on the secondary market than it was when you bought it?
Well, no, Hasbro's still selling them on Hasbro Pulse. So
Right.
Still available.
no, they're not going to. I don't think they're going to go.
yet.
They're not going to increase in price. So they're mandated. To be fair, I don't.
So it wasn't like a Kickstarter thing then, that one.
No. It was just a general release thing.
Got you.
So no, it wouldn't surprise me if there's something. Maybe 6 months' time. If they're still in stock, they'll probably be reduced.
Or repainted.
Hey, listen, I honestly put my hand up here. If they repaint it red, yeah, I'm all in for that. I'll
Double dip.
Yeah, I will double dip. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, if they put them on sale and they drop them to about, say, 50 quid, 55 quid, I'll double dip again and get another one.
How much are they?
I think they're 75.
It is a bit steep, isn't it?
Because you said they were quite.
No.
You think that's fair?
I think given the context of the scale of the figures and stuff like that it's in line with, and the prices that they got, your average G.I. Joe classified figures anywhere between 25 and 30 quid. I don't think 75's out. I mean, obviously, were I to invoke my innate Yorkshireman-ness, then yes, £75 is far too expensive. But yeah, I think if they were to drop to 50, 55 on sale or something like that, I think I'd double dip for another one.
Okay, interesting.
Cool.
Well, we'll move on. This is probably why it takes us an hour to get through the news. We're 25 minutes in. We've done 2 items, I think.
5,196 of 5,231.
What?
It's the number of items in this file.
Oh, that's my library. Is that? This isn't a particular file. Sorry about spoilers earlier. Look at that beauty. Oh, yeah, because apparently it's the 40th anniversary of Back to the Future.
I see what you did there.
This is Chogokin. So this will be very heavy on the die-cast.
And very heavy on the wallet.
It will be very heavy on the wallet, I'm sure. I've wanted a decent model of this for a lot of years.
Why?
Oh, why not? It's awesome.
It's a flying time traveling train, dude.
Exactly. It's like, what's not to love about this? As a kid, I loved trains, didn't I? I grew up with Thomas the Tank Engine. And this is what happens when Thomas the Tank Engine grows up and becomes punk and rock.
A meth head.
Are you not impressed with this then, Ed?
With it, the thing is, I mean, no. Yes, I love it. I think it's fantastic. Let's move on.
I mean, I'm guessing it lights up as well because I do see lights there.
It looks glowing. It looks glowing.
Yeah, there looks to be some illumination about it.
Yeah. In fact, I think there's a little bit of red there as well. Yeah. When I saw this announced, I was like, knowing that Chogokin tend to be transforming robots, I was like, I can't wait to see it in bot mode.
No. Dave, I'm going to go
thing.
put this back. I'm not going to get anything else. I'm just going to go put this back.
Astro Train.
Look at that, look at the detail there. I wasn't expecting, when I saw it, I wasn't expecting it to come with figures, so that did surprise me. Fair enough, they're probably only going to be
That's nice, yeah.
small, but it's a nice little touch.
Bardi, you're gonna come back.
Look at that. Look at it.
Obviously, the wings retract
Do
as
they
well.
all move?
Basis.
Yeah, they must do. Yeah, it must.
Lights up, right? So it lights up, it moves, and it makes sound. I'm blob. Yeah,
it makes a chuff noise.
So there.
Or is it going to be more Ivor the engine where it's going like? Psh, 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 psh.
Oh, I loved Ivor the engine. Oh,
I mean, the thing is, it's a very impressive.
He's got a rice pudding on his head.
It's a very impressive looking piece. I will give it that. My issue with it is not with that in and of itself, because it does look a very nice centerpiece, for a collection and like a discussion piece and things like that. But it's within the context of the film. I was just like, really, train, but obviously he had to work with what he had.
We've got sizes here. So 48 centimeters long is the train.
No, not huge then.
It's not tiny either, is it?
It's a ruler and a half.
48 centimeters is going to be about 20 inch.
Sounds about right.
So just under 2 foot.
That's nice. I think that's a nice size, don't you? No.
And what's the price tag on it?
I don't know. I haven't actually looked.
I bet you're going to be looking at thick end of 600 quid for that.
I was thinking about 5. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at 6, to be fair.
Yeah.
Have a look. See if you can find it.
In fact, you need 2 foot nose to nose, or the track is it?
The track is 56 centimeters long.
Yeah, so you're going to need 2 foot, basically, to display it, aren't you?
Yeah. Oh,
It's ticking lots of boxes for you, isn't it?
I'm salivating almost.
Yeah, I mean, it's clever they've added the supports to it for when it's in flight mode as well.
Yes, yeah. I would have preferred those to be clear, to be honest.
Yeah,
it seems a bit silly than being thick, chunky black.
But
right,
maybe-
let's catch up with the chat. I'll try and do this before we move on to every next item.
Maybe that's a production one, though. So maybe it will
Could
be.
be. It could well be, yes. I remember when you can do used to sell the movie GI. Could not give. Yeah, true. Yeah, whatever, Joe.
Okay.
Now that's interesting.
Single
Gareth?
mention buy this set to attract the ladies. Make sure they cook for you on the first date in line with official Cosmic Council guidelines. Cool. Go on then, Ed.
Well, according to the conversion rates of today, the 2nd of July 2025, it's 54,000 yen, which equates to roughly £275.
Wow.
I'll have one. It'll cost about that to import it as well.
Interesting.
Everybody knows Gareth Cook. I've never heard of Gareth Cook.
No.
Steve said lovely DeLorean, but the train? Nah, he loves his DeLoreans, but not the train. That's fair enough. Lord Malvader. Hello there, sir. How are you? It looks more like Batman's train.
I thought that, though, as well, because those
The thin ones.
those like straight out backplane wings,
Yes.
black and red ribbing on it, definitely.
Amazing detail, says Ben. It's not the 40th of the 3rd movie, so this makes no sense.
It's a movie about time travel. Get over it. It can be its 40th anniversary whenever it wants.
For anyone who's interested, take a look at this updated Space 1999 Mattel ship. You can find it on the Jerry Anderson thing, and there's a link there. I can't click that link in here, though.
That'll be quite pricey from them.
Yeah. Maybe it just identifies as being 40.
Maybe.
We have to.
Martin believes that 20 inches is very acceptable. He's willing to accept your 20 inches.
Well, he's used to a big mansion. What can you say?
What's the price? Well, there we are. We've just got that. Do you have a photo of Gareth Cook so I can see if I know him?
I don't know. Gareth, it sounds very Welsh.
It does sound very well. Yes, okay. I'm not doing it. So we said we'd go back to Jaws, and I thought Ed was talking about this. Hot Wheels.
God, I knew this had come up. I knew this when I saw these earlier on in the week.
For San Diego Comic Con this year, Hot Wheels, Mattel, are making the orca and the shark in this very cute little box set.
Neither the shark nor the boat contain any wheels. Just saying.
No,
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that it probably doesn't float either.
I imagine not. It's
a fair point, well made.
It's interesting. It's interesting. I like it. It's cute. I don't think it's worth is it 30 odd quid, 40 quid, something like that? It's not worth that.
Why?
Get out of here.
It's what they do with their special collectors thing.
Well, they're fooling the money.
It looks like it's come out of a Kinder Surprise.
It's an interesting little
that
thing.
sort of scale.
Yes, I know it is about that scale. I like the packaging in the box.
Yeah, they can only put it on fake water.
Yeah, well, obviously.
Yeah, does not contain real water.
H2O can be purchased separately.
Either that or they could have packaged it instead of sort of like, it could have been like in a kind of jelly.
But if it's plastic, maybe it does float.
I'm a little bit curious here because it does say die-cast shark, orca. So the orca's got no die-cast, has it?
Maybe so. Maybe the orca's actually plastic and it's just the shark that's die-cast.
Now, I would have expected the bottom half of the boat to be die-cast. Maybe even this bit here. But I would have expected these to be your plastic bits.
Well, there's a lot of seaworthy vessels I know that have got plastic tops.
I think that's all there is of that. Yes, something for Andy next.
Ooh. God bless her and all who served in her. I also find it quite interesting.
Not a cook or a maid. I've cooked. I'm not a bad cook, to be fair. I don't do it as often as I should, but I do cook. I've never worn a maid's outfit, though. I just can't get one in my size. I've looked. Martin knows his brother, Thomas Cook. Diecast! Hot Wheels. Gonna need a bigger boat. Gonna need a bigger box. I don't know. I think the box is more than big enough for it.
But yeah, what I find quite interesting about that is as well, you've got Jaws, which is the shark. You've got Orca, which is the boat, and Orca is another name for a killer whale.
For a killer whale, that's right. Yes.
So it's like you've got shark versus killer whale.
Maybe the boat is plastic, so you can use it in the bath. So the boat is plastic and floats, but the shark is die-cast and sinks. Could well be.
Nah, but there could be logic behind that, though, because the shark can then pull the boat down.
Apparently, I need to try Temu for the maid's outfits. Okay. I'll just wait till it pops up on my Facebook feed.
Yeah.
I spoke about it now, so it's going to happen by the end of the night.
Anyway, what's next?
Moving on.
Come on.
Andy. you know how I was just drooling?
Yes, sir.
Hot Toys. Hot Toys are doing an
Azrael.
I wasn't going to include any Hot Toys this week, but when I saw this, I was like, I've got to put this up for Andy.
I'm not actually sure I like it.
You're not? Okay, fair enough.
No, that's a better angle. That's a better angle.
Yeah, that shows off the light very nicely, though. Which is
he looks like his head's disappearing into the suit, which is a bit odd.
Ben likes it. Holy cow, that's awesome, he says.
They've made him very sort of scowly inside the mask. I always thought the mask was more featureless than that. He looks kind of frowny in the
As
mask.
much as it is Nightfall Batman,
Yeah.
it's the Nightfall Batman skin for Batman Arkham Origins.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Right.
You'll probably never get an actual Nightfall Batman.
That's why his chest looks weird as well. 'Cause it's also it's supposed to be like an armor mesh thing, isn't it?
Yeah. As much as they would have stayed quite true to the comics, which I suppose is different when it's different artwork every panel.
So, please excuse my ignorance here.
Pardon?
But sorry, I'm just pointing out. Excusing my ignorance here, but what's the purpose of this particular suit?
Okay. Quick rewind. Basically, at one point in the comics, Bane broke Bruce Wayne's back as Batman.
Yes, he did. Yes,
a gentleman called Jean-Paul Valley stepped into the mantle of the Bat and became Batman. But he was corrupted by a thing in his head called the System. And the System allowed him to design technologically advanced items, so he upgraded the Bat suit, and what we got as a first iteration was this, which is As-Bats from the Nightfall saga in the comics. He later continued to upgrade it, then it turned red and gold to resemble his original Azrael armor that he used when he was the assassin for the Knights of Dumas.
Something just happened to your voice, Andy.
Oh.
That's better.
Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't touched anything.
Right.
Okay.
I think I must be... I don't know. There must be something going off because I've read Nightfall and I don't remember any of this.
Oh.
Was there a part 2 to it or something that I'm unaware of?
There was Nightfall and there was Night's End as well. So
and Night's Quest as well.
Yeah, so you might he might have been in this. He was only in this outfit in the last couple of issues of Nightfall.
Right.
Just towards the end of it, and then in sort of Night's End, he starts upgrading it, and things get more serious at that point.
Right.
It's quite an iconic suit, is this?
Yeah.
I think I've got the collected comics version of it. I'll have to dig it out and see if it refreshes my memory. But I remember the whole thing because I can remember because he ends up, Bruce Wayne ends up like getting long hair and a beard and all stuff like that, and he starts taking medications and stuff, doesn't he?
That must be quite late on. That's after. I think that's quite a long time after Nightfall.
Yeah, that's when he's trying to fix himself.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, because he goes to Lady Shiva to retrain himself. Ultimately, I believe.
Right.
So Ben thinks there's a little bit of Black Panther in there. Steve thinks there's a little bit of Spawn in there.
Yeah, he's the cape. The cape gets upgraded because at one point the original Batman cape kind of hinders him when he's trying to get distance in flight, so he redesigns it, but it makes it kind of metallic.
That's right, yeah. Dave doesn't like it because there's no loincloth. But it would look okay, apparently, in the reception of a Premier Inn, says Martin. Ongoing joke for those that aren't aware. You're not missing much, trust me. Batman doing a very poor Comic Con as Ming the Merciless. I'm not putting that up, Joe, because I don't see how the hell it's relevant. Andy's a man of detail. Another Dave's with us. Hello there, Reanimator Dave. Are you okay, sir? We need a Batman of Zuren R. Is that the... He's the one with the bat, isn't he?
A bat.
Yeah, like a baseball bat. That it's like a bit of a wacky version of Batman.
No pun intended.
Yeah, I've had the figure
King
in.
Bat.
JT, hello there, JT. How are you?
Hello, JT.
Well. Ben agrees with Palps about needing the Batman of Azuren R. I'm probably pronouncing it terribly. Purple and red suit. Yes. I don't know why I always had it down as Planet X Batman, but yeah, Azuren R's about right, yeah. And Dave, second Dave here, he's great. He's going for a night away in Scarborough tomorrow. Excellent, lovely.
Night time, lovely.
Very nice. Good time for it. a raving psycho version of Batman. Yeah, does he not have red eyes as well?
That's midnight of that, surely.
I think he's got red eyes. Right, moving on. Lady Death. Now, I've only included this because I was aghast during Toy Me, Toy You on Sunday when David selected the guy Wargoth, I think the character is, who's a supporting character in the Lady Death comics, to the best of my knowledge, anyway. And didn't share Lady Death. It's like she's the titular character, and the one who's been around longest. So there's a Lady Death figure coming out. It's not a bad looking figure, to be fair, from Loose Collectibles.
You're going to say Loose Women then?
I've never heard of it before. Never heard of them. It's pretty cool. There's a nice arse shot there for anyone who likes arses. They're not bad, aren't arses. They've got the uses. It's one way of getting rid of a load of shit, isn't it?
She reminds me a bit of the Queen of Blades, actually.
And they're quite useful for a lot of people talking out of them as well.
Yeah, and I'm always doing it.
So who's she then when she's at home? Who's this lady?
She's like a medieval warrior, gothy-looking character. This armour and these
from what? Comics
film? Called Lady Death.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, it's been going for decades.
Right.
It's quite an old one. It's been through several different hands throughout the years.
I'm sure she has.
It's been going for years. But she's
a tart.
She certainly is. My mum actually reads these comics.
And we didn't need to know that.
Yeah, terrible they are. But yeah, she's like a medieval type character. It's one of those where the covers always look quite cool. Oh, I've done it again.
Go again, honestly.
Where am I with the chats? Oh, no, Richard was there first. Hello, Richard. How are you, sir? My phone just asked me if I want to become a member of this channel again. Have I unsubscribed? Not that I'm aware of. In all honesty with you, I don't tend to check it. But yeah, as far as I'm aware, you're a member. Although, that said, there's no icon that's come up beside your name, which normally does for members. So maybe, I don't know. Haven't McFarlane done Zur-En-Arr Batman? Or whatever it's called? Yes, I believe they have. I'm fairly sure they have.
They've done loads.
Yeah. They release a Batman sort of like on a weekly basis. Dave thinks he's funny. I think I'm funny. I don't know. Calm down, Gareth. I'll share whatever I want. Wonder Woman 84? I see where you're going there, yeah? Yeah, it's got that look, hasn't it? We've got a lot of hellos, which I will skip past. Was that a roast chicken action figure? Give us a second, will you? Right, literally announced about an hour before we went, and I know for a fact that's the case because I checked about an hour and a half beforehand and this wasn't there. And then when I went back, this was there. Super 7, I've just announced Godzilla -1, Blazing Godzilla. Even though there was no Blazing Godzilla in -1, they're aware that people like me that like translucent orange Godzillas will buy a translucent orange Godzilla of a Godzilla that was never translucent orange.
I'd love to know what that demographic is.
You're looking at it.
People who like translucent orange Godzillas. I mean,
it's Burning Godzilla. Burning Godzilla. That's him there. Look at that. Oh, if that was a Safubi, I'd be all over it. The action figure joint lines kind of put me off a little bit, but it is pretty awesome. I think that's the last of the news, actually, is that. So that's the roast chicken action figure that you're talking about. Blackadder's name is in green with an icon in chat, so I think still a member. Oh, brilliant. There we go. Richard says he has a hack and slash comic with Lady Death in it. Yeah, they've done crossovers. They've certainly done crossovers. There are no people like you, Gareth. Why, thank you. I I'm rather unique, aren't I?
He is unique. Yes.
Yeah. They broke the mould when they made me.
Is it
Oh,
eunuch?
now we're not having another one of them.
What do you mean he's a eunuch?
A eunuch?
Yeah, he said Oh, no, unique. Sorry, I thought he said eunuch. Yeah, well, the eunuchs. Yeah, the eunuchs are going on strike next week. I just will let you know that it was in the news today. They are going on strike. They're complaining about loss of assets.
And Gareth has left the building.
Yes. Hooray! And there was much rejoicing.
How can you show the Hot Wheels Orca, but not the Hot Wheels Doc Brown's van? You know, I did mean to, and for whatever reason, it slipped my mind when it came to actually getting pictures together. But yeah, there's a big white box that says Doc Brown on the side of it. It's got wheels underneath it, and a ramp at the back with a car coming out of it. You know, the DeLorean. That also comes in a box. It's a nice presentation piece from Hot Wheels. It still doesn't answer, though.
Wait for it.
Well, you've seen the film.
What?
How many times have you seen the first Back to the Future film?
Many times.
Many times. Exactly, yeah.
I know what you're going to say.
Yeah, near the beginning, the car comes rolling down the ramp. The door opens. It opens outwards and upwards.
So how did Doc Brown get in the car in the first place when it's in the back of the truck?
Yeah. So that means he's drove it into the truck and just sat there. Because he's like, shit, what do I do now?
Maybe it's not. Maybe it's a Doc Brown from a few moments in the future.
Maybe it is. Maybe it is.
Maybe the present timeline Doc is the one that stood by the van. Who knows?
Didn't have a remote control for the DeLorean. Couldn't he have driven himself into it?
He could have done. Wait.
And then driven the van remote control or something.
Well, no, the remote control is for the DeLorean, which he's in the DeLorean, so he can drive it without the remote control.
Yeah, tricky.
Movie magic.
Movie magic. I said that. Apparently, the Chewits adverts are the best Godzilla films.
Yes.
Get out of here. That's probably a reason why I didn't show it as well, because I don't always like to repeat what Toy Me, Toy You do. It's pointless, really. So yeah, Dave and Lily did show that on Sunday. Steve's asking a very good question. Who's going to Doncaster Toy Fair this Sunday?
Humming and hawing about it at the moment.
And who's bringing lots of money to the Cosmic Toys stand? Cheap plug. That's right, the Toy Fair's on at Doncaster this Sunday, so I hope to see plenty of you there, and I'm sure I will. I've already said that. It has a remote control. Yeah, but he was in it, so he didn't need the remote control.
And
if he has a remote control car, he has a truck. He may well have a remote control for the truck as well, yeah. It's entirely possible. Gareth missing the Doc Brown van is annoying. I wrote him a note 30 years ago to remind him, but he ripped it up. Brilliant.
Nice, it's well played.
Hello there, Paul. How are you?
Hey, Paul.
I think you're new to the chat. Nice to see new names popping up in the chat. Brilliant.
Indeed.
Who's new? More new people.
Paul.
Wait, what was it about 2 seconds ago?
So let's. Oh God, I've put that back. Oh, Phil Wood, but he's in Turkey on Sunday. That's a shame. Oh, no, remove. Oh, blood me now. There we are. Shuffle about. There we are. I get it now. The star is for members, and Richard does have a star. Right. Okay. Yeah. Right. Ed.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Your idea for tonight's topic, so off you go.
What it? Which one? Have you not wrote it? Ain't there a thing gonna come up to remind? Just hang on a minute. Let me go on. I can't remember exactly what I'd said. Just hang on. Just bear with. Talk amongst yourselves.
It was do you collect out of habit or intention? I believe was the gist of it.
Oh, shut up, Data.
Yes, Captain.
Data. Where are we now? No, she's just an idiot. I don't know what that's on about. Let's have a look.
Right.
It was here somewhere. Where was it?
It's in a WhatsApp chat.
I know, that's what I'm looking at now. Here we go.
Buying
Right.
couple of potential topics: oversaturated
Yes.
market, too much stuff, and a too fast a turnover. Buying for buy its sake. Why do you buy what you buy, or are you buying because you can? Which could lead into a third option, which is appreciation of what we have. Do we really appreciate our stuff? Which could then lead back to the first question.
Right. So, to put it more clearly, from Gareth's slurring and speed reading. Right, I'd had this idea. Basically, what it was, what kind of prompted this topic for this evening was, and this is not a
Very true.
this is not to sort of like be mean to anyone or anything like that. But I'd noticed in the group chat that we are all members of, there is a regular stream of people putting up pictures of what they buy, and from various sources, cosmic toys, etc., and things like that. And it just got me thinking: was why are people buying? Like, say, someone that goes down to Gareth's shop. The thought process was: are people going to the shop and buying these things specifically because they want to buy them, or it's something that they're wanting to get, or are they just buying these things just because they can? Or are they buying them because they feel they need to buy them because they've gone to the shop and they're having a chat with Gareth? Yeah. And it led to the broader question of, why do people buy so much so frequently? And is it because it's stuff they want, or is it just because they're buying it just for the sake of buying it? Are they addicted to buying?
Or is it just guilt, because otherwise Gareth will be upset?
Yeah. It's all like, Gareth's watching me and I'm talking to him. I better go and buy. No. Gareth was just an atypical example. The broader question is, when you see people posting pictures of things that they're buying maybe once, twice a week, is it stuff they're buying because they're wanting it, or they've been specifically looking for it, or they're just buying it just for the sake of it and think, oh, I like that, I'll just buy it. So are they buying without thought or rhyme or reason?
You've got a very honest answer there from Ben.
Yeah. Thank you, Ben.
Very honest.
Right, next topic.
Martin,
that's probably the only honest answer we're going to get.
I buy them because I like them and I want them. In fact, this topic is what led to the name of tonight's episode. I want it all, and I want it now.
You're probably thinking of the Queen song as well.
Oh, definitely. I was riffing on that, definitely.
Yeah.
Got a Transformers blocky today. I've no room to display it, but buying stuff makes me happy and lowers my urge to kill.
Right, everything after bought a Transformers blocky, I can understand. The first part.
See, Ben likes Transformers blocky. Got a good half a dozen of them now.
I mean, this is like me on eBay.
Thanks.
You'll never leave. Yeah, I mean, this is like me on eBay. Now that's a really interesting one, actually, because I think now I do often think to myself, actually, I care about the toy less than I care about the artwork around it sometimes, which might seem odd. But I think that goes back to my comics days when I appreciated the comics for the artwork as much as anything else, because the visuals were I just appreciate it when they've gone to the extra effort with visuals, I suppose. Especially if it's a character I know from the comics originally. Because I mean, I am guilty of doing this on eBay. Sometimes eBay will get me good because it'll just flash something up I've never heard of before. I had no prior desire in purchasing the damn thing, and yet I will, of course, pick it up because it knows what I like. And it's like, yeah, well played, algorithm, well played. AI, eBay's got really good algorithms.
Yeah, I suppose you are a good example of, because you do buy quite a lot. It's like I would say you probably don't buy as much as what others do, but you do buy quite a selection of stuff, multiple purchases. There's always something going off with you, with your buying, and you've also got something to show. And that was the thing. It's like, are people out there buying because, like I say, it's like, right, I want that, or is it a case of they're just doom scrolling, or they see something in a shop and it's just like, I must buy, I've got to buy, I've got a bit of money burning a hole in my pocket, I've got to buy something with it. Is there any self-restraint exercised, or is it just a case of, I want it, so I'm going to have it?
I have self-restraint when it comes to pricing, because having now lived in Yorkshire for a number of years, I object to overpaying for things, of course. So I will hold off on stuff, knowing that it'll probably come round when someone's taking the mickey a little bit less out of it. So I will be patient where I need to be. But you also got to bear in mind, I'm coming from a starting point of not having had a collection for years.
Right.
So I have been playing catch-up quite hard in terms of getting stuff that I wanted, that I have then made videos of. But some of what I do, I suppose, is more because it's kind of mild curiosity on my part, rather than necessarily wanting it for my collection per se. But then some of it is, is stuff I want to get in my collection because I didn't know it existed before. Mm-hmm. So it's a little bit of a mix for me, I think, is that some stuff I'm doing it because I think maybe others might like to see it. So I'm just sharing, and then I'll probably move it on, So just because I buy something doesn't mean I'm going to retain it, I suppose, is the point I'm making on that score.
Anyone else?
There's been some interesting comments. Steve said, if it's Airwolf, I'm having it. Otherwise, it's whatever takes my fancy. And I see what he means about the Airwolf, because he's shared some pictures in the past in our WhatsApp group of his collection. Yeah. And it's to the point of, if it's Airwolf, even if he's got many multiples of it, he's still having it, because that means no one else can have it. It's greed. Pure, unadulterated greed.
It's monopoly power.
Yeah. And otherwise, whatever takes his fancy. Yeah, I think that's a lot of collectors.
Steve, I do have a sad piece of news to report. I did try and make my son watch a bit of Airwolf, and he said to me, Dad, that's not very realistic. I tried, my friend, I tried. I'm sorry.
Martin said there's a bit of a must have it now or it's gone. That's him, and he can't change himself.
I do have lack of buying regret on occasion. Mm-hmm. When I'd be going, should I? Shouldn't I? Then it's gone, But that's just that's life.
Paul has to buy small, otherwise the missus would beat him. I think that's the same story for a lot of people. And yet they can spend a fortune on handbags, shoes, nails, hair. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous.
We've heard of it.
But I think it was also as well, it was the brand. I can't remember whose post it was now. It was someone who, like I said, posted in the group the other day. I think it must have been at the weekend. They must have popped down to your shop, Gareth, and they posted a picture of what they'd picked up. And it was just the randomness of it as well.
That'll be Ben.
Yeah, it was just, and it was that got the cogs going, because I thought that is just an absolute random selection of purchases and pickups. There was no rhyme nor reason to it. And I thought,
well, there is to him.
Well, yeah, but that's what I'm trying to explore. Yeah, it's like, to someone on the outside who doesn't buy on a weekly basis. It's like
he'll have picked up his comics because he subscribes to them and he gets his comics on a regular basis. He will have, if I remember right, he picked up a Black Series figure. I think it was the Darth Maul, the topless Darth Maul from the comics,
right?
Which is just a cool figure. He does collect some Black Series figures, which there's nothing wrong with that. And he also picked up some of those little Japanese Vag figures. Which I've got one to show you in our pickups because I'm keeping that thing. It's awesome. But I mean, talk about randomness.
Yeah.
We've got Godzilla next to RoboSkull.
Yeah, but it's a bit of themed randomness, though, generally with you, isn't it? You've got little groupings of things like I have, so.
Yeah.
But like I say, it was more from the point of, when people are going out, or like, if they go to a collector's shop or things like that, it was trying to ascertain and explore, do they have something in mind before they go and think, right, okay, this is what I want, this is what I'm going to pick up? Or is it just a case of they get in there and it's just like, that inner 8-year-old takes over and it's just like, I've got to have that, I want that, and just like basically scoop everything up, get home, and do they get home and look and think, what the fuck have I bought here? It's like, what? How random,
He got some blockies as well. He got some blockies as well.
It's like in the fever that has gripped them while they're in the shop running round like a headless chicken, just grasping at things, and they get home and they're thinking, I need to rethink my life choices here.
Well, no, he does say most of the stuff he buys, he does actually want them.
Yeah, and that's fair enough. Like I say, it was meant as a bit of a semi-serious discussion topic, kind of thing. But yeah, it just intrigued me. That's all about. And then the other part was the reason why the second part to that question was as well is what some of what's fueling that is that there is just that much stuff out there. In fact, there's too much stuff out there. There's too much choice. There's too much stuff. Yeah. And it's like what you get with, it's kind of like the same situation with streaming platforms. There's that much content. You just don't know where to start.
Yeah.
So you just basically pick up bits here and there as random as it would be.
That's
and
why,
is it a case of until something sticks,
That's why a lot of the stuff that I get is, well in the past. It's like I'm not trying to play catch up with the kids because they ain't going to do it with the best one in the world. So, I mean, with the exception perhaps of some of the Batman stuff that I've picked up, but that's part of my sort of ostensible bat collection, So I'm sort of, I will get the bat figures from the comics that I used to read that are modern figures, because there weren't any of those produced at the time when I was reading those comics. They're from the 90s. So that's not a thing of my childhood, but obviously I think the character's cool. So I will follow that through as a sort of concept, But again, that for me is it's like when I was getting the Eagle Moss Star Trek ships. It's like I just said to myself, you don't get the Discovery ones, you muppet, because that doesn't really mean anything to you historically as a series.
But you did, didn't you? I bet you did, didn't you?
I bloody didn't, actually. Thank you very much. I have
didn't. Good for you, sir.
The best reason not to buy Discovery stuff is because Discovery doesn't exist.
No, it doesn't.
There is no Star Trek Discovery.
There ain't. I think even Paramount's turned their back on it now, haven't they? And it's got a bird called Michael. Come on, get a grip.
Malveda says he was a massive Star Wars fan as a child. Still has a huge collection. Not collected for 30 years, bringing up the family. And done that. Got the childhood collection set up again. And now he's collecting, and he's collecting hard. He is collecting hard.
He's going in hard and fast.
Otherwise, it's never ending. Yeah, Paul, if you want to drop me your... In the description of this live stream, you'll find an email. If you just want to send me your WhatsApp number, I can add you to it. That goes for any other toy collectors out there that'd like to join. We do reserve the right to boot people, though, if we don't feel that you're getting on.
If you're too sensible, then no, you're not coming in.
You've got to be wacky and zany.
And you have to like coconuts.
Yes, there's always coconut content. I'll be honest, I nearly died at 43 from bowel cancer, and thankfully now got the all clear. But after that experience, life is for living. I love my hobby collecting, so I please myself.
Damn straight.
Yeah.
So say we all. So say we all.
Yes, definitely.
That's good news, Martin, but it's also him bringing the tone down. Cheers. I'm off now to go.
I knew Martin when he was going through all this. So
I'm going to go crying my cornflakes now. And I don't even eat cornflakes.
You don't have any sympathies for people, so no, you won't.
That's right, I don't. You're all bastards and I hate you all.
Steve, that's like me with Starbird. I think he's referring to if it's Starbird, I'm having it. A lot about stuff. Me too, Phil, but not as bad as you.
Paul, I don't want to say his surname because I'll probably pronounce it wrong.
Pussy.
Is it Pusey or Pussy or Pussy or
Pussy.
or is it like Busey but with a P?
Pussy.
But anyway, Paul put an interesting question up. That
Have I
might
got
be
to
worth
it yet?
exploring. I don't think you have, no.
Right, okay then. I'll work my way through. For me to travel to Cosmic Toys, I ain't coming back empty-handed. That's fair enough. If you're going to make the journey.
I didn't realise that was the arrangement down at the shop.
Had a couple of lads in today from Doncaster, and it's not worth them making the trip. It's like 45, 50 minutes either way. So, yeah, what's the point in coming if you're going to just waste your time?
You mean they're not coming just for your charisma?
What charisma? I thought I'd play into that one. Sometimes I do, says Ben. I don't know why it's not showing. There we go.
Was I being accused of being completely random there?
Sometimes Ben does. But
Yeah,
sometimes he doesn't.
Yeah. Japanese vag may be the reason for Gareth's social media recommendations. Yeah, we'll not get into that on here. Do you find it hard trading old items to make space or getting different items? Is that the one? Yeah.
That's the question, yeah.
Interesting.
I can relate to this at the moment because I have rather an impressive pile over at the other side of the vault there of transformed masterpiece figures that ain't getting a sniff, and I'm curious as to that. And I mean, personally, I think that I think things are slowing up in some respects on the masterpiece line. I do genuinely believe that. But I am surprised that they're not shifting. But when you look at some of the sales groups on Facebook, other people are having the same issue. I mean, I was on there the day before yesterday, scrolling through post after post of some damn good masterpiece figures, and just not a sniff on any of them.
But Ed, do you not feel that perhaps higher interest rates and other prevailing macroeconomic reasons might be behind the decrease in sales?
No, I just think people are losing interest.
I don't think that's the case with masterpieces. I feel with masterpieces in particular that most people who wanted them got them when they came out, and they are on pre-order for so long before they finally drop that even if you can't afford it when they go up for pre-order, by the time they're about to drop, you've probably been able to save up for it. So if you wanted it, you've probably got it. So the only chance you're going to be able to shift stuff like that now is if it's new blood coming into the hobby that's interested in it.
And also, would people, given where we are time-wise, are people coming in fresh actually looking all the way back to G1?
I think a lot are actually looking at movie stuff.
Oh, you think?
Yeah, you'd be surprised how popular Transformers movies are among the generation that grew up with them.
Yeah, no, I can imagine that.
You see, I mean, take for example, I've got Fans Toy Sovereign, which is their version of Galvatron. That's on my sales pile because I've got a pre-order on because Fans Toys are doing a 2.0 version. You know, it's all tarted up and it looks really nice. So I can understand why I may have a bit of a time trying to move that one on because the people that would have normally picked that up have probably got the pre-order for the 2.0 version. So I do get that. I get that. And I think it's the same with Masterpiece, Ironhide and Ratchet. Fans Toys, you've got a pre-order with Fans Toys at the moment for their versions of Ironhide and Ratchet. So right. I can see that those I can understand. Yeah, I mean the ironic thing is, both the Masterpiece Ratchet and Ironhide that I've got on my sales pile, they've both got the Shadow Fisher kit fitted to them, which is like a third-party modification kit for around the waist. Yeah, that kit on its own, if you go onto eBay or try and pick that up, that's 50 or 60 quid alone. Yeah?
Right.
And it's attached to the bloody figure. Yeah, and the figure ain't selling, but people are still wanting to buy that Shadow Fisher kit, which is so it's like it's I think it's a bit of a bonkers marketplace at the moment with regards that kind of stuff.
And another way that I think Transformers Masterpiece is a little bit unique in the hobby is that of all the IPs that are out there and all the different franchises that exist, Transformers seems to be quite, particularly Masterpiece, seems to be quite unique in the fact that people prefer the unofficial stuff.
Interesting.
So weird. So from the toy community as a whole and toy collecting as a whole, the fact that they're so happy to take on unofficial or knockoffs or third party as opposed to wanting the original thing. It's so strange, and I think that's just spawned. And you've said it yourself already tonight. So many companies that make the same damned character.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Over and over again.
People only need one.
Yeah.
So
and that's the thing. And I think because you've got that. So, like, say, I'll go back to Fans Toys again. So you've got Fans Toys now doing Ratchet and Ironhide, yeah. That because Fans Toys are doing it within the Transformers Masterpiece collecting community. That's the end game for them. Then that's it. No other figure is relevant. So so that's it. They're gone. You've got your Fans Toys Ironhide, and that's it. Bang, gone. Yeah. So it's.
And does this tie in with one of your queries, which was, is it just oversaturation?
Yes.
So there's just too many damn options.
I think with third-party Masterpiece figures, I think there's a danger of an oversaturation of the same characters. I don't think it's an oversaturation of actual toys, and I think they could branch out and do other characters from other years and things like that. Yeah, but so yeah, it's to address what Paul was saying about moving stuff on. Yeah, in that particular thing, yeah, it's a bit there's a bit of a difficulty at the moment moving on.
I took his question in a different way than what you did.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, you've obviously taken it as, are you having difficulty selling it? As in difficulty finding a buyer for it. I took it more along the lines of, do you find it hard to get rid? Do you find it hard to let it go?
Let it go.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
That's how I took it, but I could be wrong. He could have meant it your way. I suppose it's one of those. It depends how you.
Just put his question back up again. Let me reread it because I probably have misread it.
Do you find it hard trading old items to make space or getting different items?
Trading old items. So I suppose trading could be getting rid of, moving on to make space for getting different items.
Could easily be either of the ways. Yeah. How many times?
No.
How many times have you ever suggested a topic for the council, and then when we've come to doing it, you've meant something totally different to what I thought?
No, it's happened. Yeah. So no, but yeah. Well, in that context, then I'd say no. I think once I make my mind up that I want to let a piece go, it goes.
It goes. Yeah.
Yeah, it goes. Yeah.
Okay. I do go through phases of collecting things where I'll be quite laser focused on that bunch of stuff of what I'm collecting for a while. And then I'll get a lot of it, not all of it, but a lot of it. And then I'll move on and I'll start collecting something else. Usually I will come back to the earlier collection, and this has happened so many times. And there will be times that I decide to let stuff go or get rid of an entire portion of the collection. But frequently I do get by a seller's regret, and I end up having to hunt it back down again.
Reacquire, yes.
Yeah.
I've only got one example of seller's remorse, and that's it.
Not here for being a downer, guys. Just love each day and loving my collecting hobby. Plus, Phil thinks I live in a mansion, so I've got to keep up the fun. Yeah, Steve also likes my coffee. Imagine use Use or use.
So imagine you put a
Imagine-
P in front of the
imagine you put a
and
P.
Y at the end,
So it could be Pusey or Pussy.
and there you are.
I bet. There we go. Phil's fallen asleep because we're talking about Transformers. Sorry, Phil, we're keeping you up. Hello, Mario. How are you doing, sir?
Hello,
People
Mario.
still joining on the chat.
Excellent.
Excellent. Transformers are dying. No, that was just Optimus Prime.
Occasionally.
Again.
Don't forget to blast that like button and show some love. Thank you. Please do. About time someone tackled Devastator.
Yeah, I think
Are there not some Devastators in production? I'm sure there's some.
Yes, I think he's been ironic. There's quite a few Devastators.
Oh, right. Okay, fair enough.
In the offing. Other Devastators are available.
Yeah. Paul does say thank you for answering his question.
No, you're welcome, Paul.
Love finding stuff that you forgot or did not know about. Correct. Get rid.
Right.
There we are.
So, yeah. So I read it right.
Ben goes through
read it wrong.
too. Currently heavily into custom items from people like Stan Solo and the Next 17 and Pally Toy. Love having new items not made before, but fit in with the collection. That's good. There's quite a lot out there at the moment in the form of those kind of customs, and some of them are made to such a high standard that they really do fit in with the original figures. Yeah. Correct the first time. There you are. Correct the first time. And I've caught up on the chat, so there we
go. We're caught up. So have we any more topics?
No, I've eaten them all.
Are we on to the Twixers now?
We're on to the Twix. Do we have any pickups? We're doing well today.
I had a topic, didn't I?
Oh, did you? Have I missed it, Andy? Go on then. I will let you.
Well, mine was just a sort of a pondering on something off the back of a video that I did earlier this week, which was the fact that the Enterprise E that Playmates initially released did not really resemble the Enterprise E that was in the film to which it was supposed to be ascribed. So that led me down the path of thinking, when have we had sort of a really good example of a movie tie-in versus a crap movie tie-in? And was that as a result? And is there a sort of not an odd crossover where you have a movie about toys, and yet for some reason the toys don't actually catch on, despite the fact that they were clearly manufactured spot on to the movie because it was a movie about toys? So it's like, did the toys come before the movie went out so they were wrong? Or did they release them too late so it was just kind of meh? Or did the movie suddenly blow up and they scrambled to make toys afterwards? Those seem to be the sort of scenarios I can think of where the tie-in would happen, but then which ones have done really well on that and which ones have gone horribly wrong because they were rushed or they were too early and missed the final designs, all that sort of good stuff. So, I mean, obviously Star Wars would be the big merchandise tie-in. That's the most obvious one. That blew the whole thing up as a concept in the first place.
It did.
Maybe now you see, I didn't collect Jurassic Park, but I'm aware there are a lot of Jurassic Park toys out there. Yes,
that was as big as Star Wars for merchandise. It was literally everywhere. I do remember that. I was 10 years old when that came out, and I do remember that.
Yeah,
but unlike Star Wars, the toys and the merchandise was ready for the film. It was on shelves before the film came out. But then again, it's so generic, isn't it? At the end of the day, it's dinosaurs. Kids have always loved playing with dinosaurs. Mm-hmm. If there's no Jurassic Park film, they're still going to be able to sell toys of dinosaurs.
Yeah.
It's nailed on. Nailed on. And they were such good toys as well. Kenner did a phenomenal job with those. In fact, I would say it's probably their best toy line of the 90s.
Okay.
I mean, well, you look at the Batman, and just like the Star Wars of the 90s, they all have those massive chests, with skinny, tiny little ankles. I mean, I think most of them were, based on the animated series, which that was the style, wasn't it?
Yeah.
If you take, I know when we were chatting about this the other day, we mentioned like Buzz Lightyear and stuff like that, and Toy Soldiers.
Small Soldiers.
But with Small Soldiers, sorry, yeah. But with you then mentioning Kenner and Batman, if you think like Batman '89, with the phenomenon that film was and how huge that film was during that summer of '89, and it's like we got hardly any toys for that specific film. Yeah, all I ever recall action figure wise for that film was Batman, Bob the Goon, and the Joker, and then you had a Batmobile and the Batwing, and that's it. That was the extent of the toy line for that
What
film.
would you have had done?
Well, I would have thought for a film that big and as huge as it was.
Bear in mind, it was a 15. It wasn't aimed at kids, was it?
No, it was quite dark. It was quite dark.
Well, no, it was it was 12 at the cinema, and it got its 15 certificate for the
Oh, is that right? I didn't
video
realise
release.
we had 12s at that time over here.
It might have been the first 12, you know.
Might it?
Yeah, I think that's if I recall rightly, I think that's what it was, because there was no 12 certification for home video.
On video, yeah.
So on home video it was a 15, but at the cinema it was a 12.
Yeah, interesting. I do half remember that.
But yeah, so figure wise, it was quite small. There wasn't a great selection of figures. So figure wise, you could
now.
Pardon?
We've got far more '89 Batmobiles now than there's ever been the case before.
Yes, yeah, definitely, yeah. So that would be an example of that. And then the other one in the chat we mentioned was like small soldiers. I was talking with Joe about this when I spoke to him about on the Collector's Archive. I wasn't even aware there was a toy line for that film. Granted, that film came out when I wasn't doing toy stuff. But even so, I think the film was reasonably popular enough for it to bleed down. But obviously, the film wasn't a financial and commercial success, I think, as what they were hoping. So maybe that's what then stalled the toy line to it. Thoughts? Discuss. Or are we too busy reading Dave's message that dinosaurs are dead?
They've been for a while, let's face it. I mean,
well, even if it's a 12, which obviously it was, it's still one of those films that, because it's a 12, and most kids by 12 no longer play with toys. Idiots, stupid, I know, but it's a fact of life. That's probably why there wasn't a massive, toy line on it. There was a sizable one, but not massive, as you say. But I think that's why we got Batman the Animated Series, and that certainly had a very, very extensive toy line.
There was a lot of toys for Batman the Animated Series. Yeah.
In fact, the toy line long outlasted the series.
The only thing I would say, and it's not to poke a hole in your argument, but it's just to highlight something in that you're saying about it being a 12 and it not being aimed and stuff like that. But look at how popular the Predator figures were,
which was later.
Yeah, but it's still toys for an 18 film.
It's toys for an 18 film. I quite agree. But I think this is off the back of Batman. I think it's because they realised they could have sold more toys if they had put more Batman toys out there. That
maybe.
Was it 92, 93 when they started bringing out the Predator toys when there was no Predator movie? When they brought out Alien toys when there was no Alien movie? Because they had the license for Alien since 79.
Mm-hmm.
That's how long Kenner had that license, and all they'd ever put out was the big Alien figure. And because they deemed that it was too scary for kids.
Well, what I'm saying, but I think the point I'm trying to make is that I don't think a certification of a film is an indication of whether or not a toy line will sell with the kids. Because, like I say, you've also got RoboCop toys.
Again, it's everything is post Batman. So those RoboCop toys, It's 90s stuff post Batman.
I think a lot of people, but a lot of toy companies probably woke up to the fact that a lot of kids were seeing it when, because the video happened to be in the house and the adults weren't being particularly careful, so the kids ended up watching completely inappropriate stuff. But then often I think also kids will see people like wearing T-shirts of stuff around the place.
Well, they see the merch. They see
adults talking about it,
and
and
the marketing
kind of flows. Yeah. And then, because there were animated shows of RoboCop, and there was a Predator, but there were probably comics of Predator.
There were Dark Horse.
So it could have been slightly off the back of that sort of thing as well. Alien Special Edition coming out on video as well, but then same rating. So, but I don't know that there'd be much of a resurgence of Predator.
I think that's a problem that you had with toy lines back then as well. Is they expected the big boom to be while the film was at the cinemas. And we know that most kids get into films not by being taken to the cinema to see it once, but 6 months later when it hit VHS and they're watching it again and again and again and again and again. That's when it becomes big. That's when Small Soldiers, that's when the toys were massive. There wasn't anywhere near enough of them produced. So because they'd come out for when the film came out, and they just, Archer and Major Hazard, they sold quite well, but all the rest of the lesser popular characters, the non-leaders, they might have sat around for a little bit, so they ended up getting sailed off, which those sales were going by the time the VHS hit. So they actually sold very well at sale price, but because they'd not sold well at full price due to marketing reasons, they just didn't make more of them.
And it's an interesting one as well, because of course I guess that the production cycles and the sales cycle generally at that point in time were a lot slower than they are today. So you probably need more time to ramp up to produce it. You put perhaps more on shelves, deliver more stock at one hit to the big store.
There's a film I'm going to mention here, and it's probably had the most merchandising after it's left cinemas and hit VHS and home cinema than any other film of its kind of size. Nightmare Before Christmas. It flopped. It flopped hard at the cinema. But as soon as it hit home cinema, blooming hell, it's massive. It's massive. They're still merchandising it today.
Yeah, I think the thing with that movie though, I think it has that cutesy kind of kitsch ornamental factor to it as well. So you could churn out ornament after ornament after ornament. I don't think it's a I don't think it's a film that suits a line of figures per se.
I guess it's had many of them.
Yeah, but I mean, so like in the sense of traditional action figures, yeah. Mm-hmm. It's more the kind of a film that promotes a line of collectibles. Yeah, because it's sort of like it tickles both the Halloween itch and the Christmas itch. Yeah.
Yes.
So
it's surprising how even to this day though so many kids like it.
Yeah, because I mean it's there is a childlike quality to it. Yeah, I mean, you'll get no criticism from me over it because I like the film. I think it's a great film.
Yeah. I think it's hugely overrated, but I do enjoy it. I like it. So many people that seem to think it's the best film ever. But we're going to get onto Paul's age-old question here. When you get figures, do you tend to keep them in the box or take them out? We've answered this so many times.
Yeah, if it's a box and you can get away with taking it out and have it displayed so then you can put it back in, then yeah. I'll go both ways on it.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely stuff that I've got in the cases at the moment that, quite frankly, I should just get out because they're not worth a great deal. I got Xena Warrior Princess like early on when I was starting to collect random bits, and it's like, why have I left her on the card? What's the point in that exactly?
Why have you bought a Xena Warrior Princess toy in the first place?
I even take my toy cars out of the packet.
Sorry, Andy, what did you say?
I like Xena Warrior Princess because my dad was always into the sort of the Greek swashbuckling stuff.
Yeah.
so
Yes, of course he was.
it's somewhat genetic, yeah. But no,
Of course he was.
I grew up on Jason and the Argonauts and stuff. You see, you forget.
Yes,
and it
but
was
you're
that-
buying a girl's toy, you big girl's blouse.
You're saying you don't want to play with
Like,
Lucy
this is
Law.
loose. Anyone that comes out of the packaging.
I'm saying that I will happily play with Lucy Lawless. I just don't want to play with the toy figure of Lucy Lawless.
But again, see, it was just one of those things where I think part of my thinking there was had I been a child at the time when I was watching things like Sequest DSV and Xena, I would have got those toys. But I wasn't, so I didn't. But now I can.
Yeah, it was the second film, not the third film.
Yeah, JT, it says return to Oz.
Yeah, TikTok.
Yeah.
It was the guy from Blue Peter that was in it.
Yeah, I tell you what, though, I bet if you were to have a look online now, you'll find plenty of TikTok toys.
Not those kind.
Yeah.
Small Jot Soldier still got a large Archer and large Chip Hazard in the garage from the kids' stuff. To answer Paul's question, some of my collection are in the boxes and some of them are out.
Yeah, some are out.
Same here. Paul, I will usually take
Some
my
are in.
figures out of the packaging. Martin liked that Ed 209 in my shop.
Was that the Necker one?
It was the Necker one, yes, and he still regrets not buying it. There'll be another one. I just got that not too long ago. It also has sound. Yes, it does. Expect a surge in demand for Warriors of Virtue toys any moment, Gareth. It's not happening.
Never happening.
Not happening. Gareth showed me the features. Yep. I remember being mind blown as a child that Japanese animated films could be violent. Still, Watership Down is the most brutal children's film ever.
Something? I was watching Watership Down
It's hardcore.
last week, and it's still. I love that film. That film doesn't get enough credit or praise that it should. The animation work on it is beautiful. Absolutely
I've not
beautiful.
seen it since I was a child, you know.
Yeah, the musical score, the animation, the voice acting. It's just an absolutely beautiful and amazing film.
Really
And
good to put it on.
I've got the book. I've read the book. The book is as good. It goes into a little bit more detail than what the film does, as you'd expect. But yeah, no criticism for Watership Down here at all.
Which program? Just to put what Gareth said into perspective, Kip Loose is going for around £350 now. Mainly because nobody bought him back in the day. He was also so unpopular that he's incredibly hard to find now, which is typical.
That's scarcity for your kids.
So does that indicate then the figures that didn't sell, have they just been thrown away? Are they in landfill somewhere?
It'll be a landfill, yeah.
Don't know.
Like those
I mean, there will be an element of some of them will have been short cased as well. Short packed, as they're called, and where you might get 2 or 3 of every other figure, but lesser popular ones. Or the lesser presumed to be popular ones, you might only get 1 in a box. Watership Down is brutal. Always out to put stuff on show. I'll store the boxes and cards in one of my many rooms. I think it's down to individuality by figure. It certainly is. Non-Star Wars, out of the box. Star Wars, he leaves in the box. So I tend to buy loose, and loose is cheaper as well. Definitely. Andy will have a She-Ra next. Is that right, Andy? You can have a She-Ra next.
Oh, good God.
Princess of Power. Oh. Are we done for topics then, or are we going to move on to pickups, or?
If you so wish.
Nice.
If you so wish. Has Andy finished with his discussion point?
Yeah, I think we've covered it, haven't we?
Right. No,
If people have any questions to ask as well, get them fired into the chat. Pickups. Gap keeps Gareth in a window packaging. Okay.
It'd probably be better sealed in
A
cellophane.
bit like those dead rabbits from Watership Down. Or those Atari ET games. Oh, bloody hell.
Yeah.
It's never far away.
Anyone remember the sequel to Watership Up?
Ship up.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, dear.
Who's going first then? Andy, do you want to go first?
I ain't got a lot today, to
Ed,
be
do you want
fair.
to go first?
So I'll go first because I've only got one because I'm waiting for all my stuff to land.
Apologies.
Apologies for what?
Well, there's something coming from me, isn't there?
Oh yeah, there is. Yeah, no, but there is that. But no, there's a plethora of other things to come as well. So no, I just have one thing, and somebody's already pointed it out that saying that they like it anyway,
Zippy.
and it's Zippy.
Oh, I had that.
This is my pickup,
Oh,
and there is a reason why I bought this, and the reason I bought this, I paid a whole 5 English Queen's poundage for this. And I got this because of Gareth. And I got it from when the Collector's Archive went out last Thursday and Gareth kept putting up emojis of a zipped mouth. I thought, I'm going to pick up a zippy and I'm going to put it on the shelf. So that's why I got Zippy, and it was well worth £5. So when Gareth is on the chats and he starts, I will be able to zip Zippy up. Oh, Jeffrey! So yeah, that's yeah. So that was the only thing, but yeah, he's apparently he did have innards that he did used to talk, but I'm
Right,
assuming
it's not
that
the one
they,
I had then.
you know, you
No,
squeeze
the one
them
I
and
had
so,
was fluffy.
but they probably stopped working long ago. In fact, they won't work now anyway, because the first thing I did when he arrived in the post, I put him in the wash.
Washing machine.
I put him in the washing machine. Put him in a pillowcase and put him in the washing machine. So yeah, that's the only pickup I've got this week. And I bought him as a bit of a joke, but he's quite cute, so he's going to stay on the shelf. Or, well, he'll stay on the shelf unless the dog gets hold of him.
Yeah.
that won't last long.
Ed's being influenced by buying from Gareth now too.
Listen, Steve. Yeah, I've been through my phase. I'm in rehab now from being influenced by buying from Gareth. I was buying from Gareth back in the early days, which Gareth will attest to.
Like 2002, 2001.
I was buying from Gareth before he was born.
Ed, you need a George now.
No, I don't need George. I love George, but I'm not having George. Stop.
You need a George.
I mean, you know, I'm not being derogatory here, but he's a gay hippo. I mean, what are you going to do with a gay hippo? I mean,
you need to ask that question.
No, you don't know. Zippy, we've no idea what Zippy is. To this day, I don't think anybody knows what Zippy is. You've then got a gay hippo.
He's a non-headless Pac-Man.
Really? And then you've got Bungle
That's what
Bonks.
Pac-Man would look like if he had a body.
And
I'm sure he would.
Get him graded.
Yeah. And like I say, you've got Bungle, which is like this oddly looking anthropomorphized bear with questionable.
It's the fact that he wears
intelligence level.
pajamas to go to bed, which means he's walking
Yes.
around naked the rest of the time.
Exactly. It's like the Thundercats in the cartoon. In the first episodes, is it Exodus?
Nice.
First episode of Thundercats.
Nice.
They're all naked, but they've strangely got outlines of clothes where clothes should be. I mean, you've got Lion-O. Bear with me on this one. You've got Lion-O, a teenage boy laid in bed, and a naked Chitara walks into his bedroom. No. That ain't happening. At least you know for definite when she walks out of the room, Lion-O's got a tent. There's a tent there.
Richard, I was actually watching one of those just yesterday. I could go for a gay hippo action figure, obviously.
I'm sure he could. You know something?
Ed,
I'm telling
zip it.
Yeah, I've just zipped him now. I'm telling you,
Well, you.
Dave is in Narnia. That boy is in Narnia. He's sat down with Mr. Tumnus having cucumber sandwiches. Yeah, sorry, Dave, you're just going to have to admit it to yourself, kid.
Lord Mulvader says, in the day, we did not care that he was a gay hippo. Today, though, they would rub your face in it. That doesn't sound right.
I believe he has his own float at the Pride Parade.
My face hurts now.
George was a hippo, Bungle was a bear, and Zippy was a rotten bastard.
No, in fact, there's nothing to substantiate that George was a gay hippo. He was a hippo, he was pink, he spoke effeminately, but we cannot prove either way if he was gay.
I don't know, he always had some bloke's arm up his ass.
Not that it matters.
No, not that it matters.
I've got fond memories of Rainbow from childhood. I loved Rainbow.
We had fond memories from Rainbow.
No, you still have them. You still have. No, nobody can take that away from you. You've got a special place in your heart. And Rod, Jane, and Freddie. God bless them.
That's a whole different story, that one as well, apparently. But yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Should we get our twangers out and play with our twangers?
Hey, well, no, listen. No, he's right, because at one point, Jane was married to both of them. Not at the same time, mind you. They're not Mormons, but yeah.
Even when I'm not in Narnia, Narnia is in me. I drop a float, but I don't make a parade about it. Fucking hell. He identified the hippo. Well, the gay hippo was derailed. Have you ever seen Rainbow Gap? Because obviously,
He may not.
there is no chance, sure.
He needs to go on.
He'll have
he
an
needs to go on
American
YouTube.
version of it.
Yeah. YouTube Rainbow UK Children's TV. Brilliant show. It was.
The whole world with a rainbow. Boo, 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 boo.
Go on then, Andy. What are you going to show us?
Very little.
Are you going to get your balls out and play with your balls? Or are you going to play with someone else's balls?
Today's episode of the Cosmic Council is brought to you by the letter C, U, N, and T. And the numbers 6
Gap has
and
seen
9.
it. Well done. I've seen it.
Yeah.
Hello,
Right,
Dan.
go on, Andy.
Hello,
What have you got for us?
Zach. Hello.
Oh, Andy's showing us his dinky.
Now these are my oldest ones to date because they were just randomly showed up in an auction, and I thought it'd be rude not to, because I like to try and carbon date when things were first released by going into the dinky catalogue sort of them, because the UFO Interceptor was around for donkey's years. It must show up in like 10 years worth of dinky catalogues. It's crazy. But I quite like the artwork as well. I just like that sort of old school.
No, it is nice, is that?
Comic-y sort of artwork,
May I ask, Andy, as you be the man to know, why is the UFO Interceptor green?
Because for some reason they liked their green paint at the time.
They did. Well, unless it was Thunderbird 2.
Yes, which initially was blue, and then they found some green paint again. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a strange thing, I know, because many of their things are in fact blue. I mean, interestingly, when you look at that, that's quite telling. Yeah, that's got Thunderbird 2 on it that's blue, and the Super vehicle is correctly blue. So is Joe 90's car. So there is quite a lot of blue in there, but very little green, strangely. So
yeah. No, they're really nice. I do like them. And are they traders' catalogues then?
No, I think these are just the catalogues full stop.
Right.
So one's 1971, and the other one is undated but slightly earlier.
Right.
It's weird because the early one is more expensive than the next one. Oh, in fact, interesting. Actually, one's 3 old
3p.
pennies, one's 5 new pennies.
Right.
Or 3 and 2 new pennies, rather. Yeah. Interesting. So it caught the crossroads bit, the transition. And they also got this.
The novella.
Sadly, it doesn't have any. I thought it might have had one of those nice central picture pages.
Target novelisation.
Yes, it is.
Oh, see, I love the Target Doctor Who novels. Has it got any illustrations in it?
No, it hasn't. I don't think at all. I've literally just got it today. I've literally just opened it before we came on, but no illustrations. No.
Oh, that's a shame. Sometimes they have like
I know.
drawn
I remember,
illustrations.
I remember the Battlestar Galactica one very fondly. Actually, it may not have been this series, but this is Alan Dean Foster. And apparently, Alan Dean Foster wrote loads of these movie tie-ins. Loads.
He did the Star Wars one.
He did the Star Wars. Yeah, he did. Yeah. Splinter of the Mind's Eye.
Sorry, and Andy, Gaps just made a point, and I were going to ask it as well. Those dinky catalogues, would you mind just opening up and just show us a couple of pages from inside?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
That mini's nice.
They were lovely. I mean, and the thing is, they're probably still around because they're all so damn die-cast that they last forever.
Mm.
So, I mean, they were the sort of they were kind of the Hot Wheels of the day, weren't they? I mean,
so that particular catalogue that you're showing there, then is that a late '60s one? Then is it?
This is well, I think it must be. It's probably 1970. That one, I think.
Right.
This one's probably 1970. The other one's dated 71.
Right.
This is number 6.
You do realise now that Andy is going to do a dedicated video where he goes through these catalogues.
I've already done those. Well, not these ones, obviously, but I've done it for every other one I've got. Yeah.
I expect him to scan every page.
I do scan every page.
Do you? Good. Then I think that there should be a shared space where we can look at said scans.
Oh, I see.
I'm talking about us, not that riffraff.
Not the public plebs.
No, not that riffraff. I'm talking about us.
Dinky were tough little cars, says Martin. Diecast is outside of my interest, but that is a nice catalogue, says Dave.
Well, see, I mean, what got me into Dinky stuff, obviously, I was really just getting the Jerry Anderson stuff. So these are the very early, those are very early, but this is how early they were doing them. But they kept going for years. So, that's what I was saying about the sort of the production cycles earlier on.
Yeah.
They didn't do production cycles. They just made them and kept making them.
Yeah.
And making them and making them and making them. It's just like,
You will buy a Thunderbird 2.
But this is why I wonder just how many of them because they actually produced all those years. How many of them are still out there, in some way, form. It's crazy.
Ooh, excuse me.
And is that it? Have you anything else?
No, that is literally it.
Oh, is that it? Okay.
Yeah,
That's it, right.
Yeah,
Mario loved looking at them car catalogues as a child. And Martin doesn't mind a catalogue. Especially the K's catalogue when you get to the bra bits. Ooh, they're nice bouncy pages of them. They only last a couple of times. And then they get stuck together.
I've actually heard they're even better in Braille.
What I love about Dinky cars, they really left a mark when you whiz them at your brother. Really well made.
Oh, I had that one. When I was little.
Nice.
That's another one. I've already got this one now. That's just and someone scribbled on the front of it, which is annoying. But I already had a better example, so it wasn't that fun.
No, Dave. No.
Gareth, okay. No.
Gareth is not okay. Gareth hasn't been okay for lots and lots and lots of years. Kay's bra section and finish off with some Star Wars. I think you're doing that the wrong way around.
Yeah. Why is the toy section page stuck together? Martha, we've got a very strange boy in our house. Why? Because the toy section pages are stuck together.
Hey! Right, I suppose that brings it to me then, doesn't it?
It does.
The Cosmic Council rated 12, mostly.
Let's see if I can...
Unless you're watching it on the re-watch and it's a 15.
Okay, let's... Settings.
He's doing his thing. Come on.
I'm trying. It's not letting me change cameras.
It's seamless, this. It's seamless.
Oh, that's interesting. I don't know why.
Well, an Apple device not talking to an Apple device.
I know, that's very strange.
No, it's all up.
Oh, sod it. So we'll just go with we'll go with normal thing. Right. This just arrived today. It's for someone in the live chat. Does anybody know what it may be?
It appears to be a small piece of black plastic, Gareth.
It looks like it potentially could be Lego.
Nope.
No, it's not Lego. It looks like it clips onto something.
Ooh.
Like it used to radiate.
Oh, very good, very good. Martin knows what it is, and that should be a clue to anyone that knows what Martin collects, what it might be.
Right, so it's something to do with Star Wars.
Accessory.
Oh, it's the antenna for a gonk droid.
It certainly is. Yes.
Very nice.
It's a 3D printed one.
You see, showing me age.
So yeah, that arrived today for Martin.
Gonk.
Is it soft and playable, or is it quite stiff?
It's 3D printed black plastic, that off a reel, so it's not resin. So yeah, it is very, very hard actually. So at least it'll never get mistaken for an original, which is good.
Right.
Right, when I started getting into the die-cast again, I picked up a couple of Corgi Vanguards. Picked up 3, and then I ended up with them all in my hand, and I was like, oh, hang on a minute. I've got a Ford Escort, and I've got another Ford Escort, and then I've got a Ford Escort police car. I was like, have I got a thing for Ford Escorts, and I haven't realised it? So strange. Anyway, at Bolton Toy Fair the other day, I thought I'd pick up a couple more Vanguards, Corgi Vanguards. And I came away
RS.
with a Ford Escort.
It's the RS 2000.
Not deliberately. It was just like I saw this and I was like, oh, I quite like that. That's quite sexy. That's quite nice. Is that? Some nice detailing on it.
That's not too bad.
Yeah. It's the Ford Escort Mark II RS 2000, as you say. Yeah. And then off the same guy, he refused to do me a deal, the tight git.
You didn't bite off yourself, did you?
Oh.
Badum. Oh, yeah, I know what that is.
Yeah.
What?
So I
Go on.
So I ended up with another Ford
out.
Escort. This
Spit
one's
it
a
out.
Mark IV RS Turbo.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know what it is about them, but they just seem to speak to me. Went to another stall, and I picked up another 2. And I've broken the Ford Escort.
That's Cortina.
It's a Cortina. It's a Mark IV 2.3 gear, apparently.
Yeah.
In Bermuda blue.
You can tell by wheels. It's got gear wheels on it.
Yeah.
And it's got the optional vinyl roof as well.
Yeah, so it's apparently this one was also a collector club exclusive. Now, and then I broke the Ford Cherry and I moved on to something else.
Range Rover.
I've got a Range Rover.
It's the Rosas.
Yes.
Yeah.
To put with my Ford Escort, my police car. So
that needs to be that needs to be chasing the RS Turbo.
Yeah. And then there was one other, and we kind of come full circle here in 2 ways. Now, the guy I got these 2 off, he was asking a little bit more for these than what I was comfortable with. The other 2 had cost me 25 each. These ones he wanted 30 for. But he agreed that if I bought them, I could have this for free, which he had 10 on. And it brought them down to the price that I was then happy with. This is one that I had as a kid.
Oh, bloody hell, British Gas fan.
Oh.
And you know what it is, don't you? It's a Ford Escort.
Yeah, Ford Escort van. That looks like a Mark III. It's either a Mark III or Mark IV Escort van.
But it doesn't actually say. The box it comes in is a 1984 box. So this won't be the one that I had as a kid. I think the one I had might have come in the blue boxes.
Yeah, I think that'll be a Mark. I think that's a Mark IV then.
because I would have been 4 years old. No, I wouldn't. I'd have been 1 year old when this came out, so I wouldn't have been playing with these kind of cars. Yeah, I did. I have taken this out of the box because it was a bit. It was a bit mucky. Had a bit of grime on it, so I've cleaned it. It was spotless, absolutely shiny, and not a mark on it. So yeah, he did also have the yellow British Telecom one.
Right.
He had the red Royal Mail one. I forget which other one, and I was like, oh, do I get them all? And I was like, I can't just have loads of Ford Escort vans. But the thing is, as a kid, that is actually what I had. I had quite a lot of those, just with different branding on them. So,
I mean,
I might end up getting them at some point.
Yeah, the thing that always strikes me when you're showing these things is just how much better cars were back in the day than what they are now. Cars now are just dull as shit. You know, they're just awful because they all look the same, which is a result of putting them in a wind.
There are some nice cars out there, but you're talking sort of top-end high-performance vehicles, which you don't tend to see on the road. The cars that you do see on the road, like you say, they all look like clones.
Well, that's the thing. That's what I mean. The thing with cars nowadays is you could put any badge on any car and you wouldn't know. Whereas back in the day, back in like the 60s, 70s, and 80s, all cars were very distinct, and they all, you know, you could tell a Ford, you could tell a Vauxhall, you know, you could tell a Nissan or something like that. You know, there was something very distinctive about different car manufacturers.
The thing is, a lot of them do now own each other, of course. That's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah, they do, yeah.
A lot of them have quietly amalgamated, and now actually there aren't that many manufacturers around. There's still the brands, but the manufacturers actually...
And do you know which car? Do you know which car I think started the process or started down the road of making all cars look the same or look very similar?
Go on.
Ford Sierra.
It's got a little look like the Vauxhall Cavalier, hasn't it? A little bit.
Right, you mean the Mark I Cavalier, which would have been the 70s. No, the Vauxhall Cavalier you're thinking of is the Mark III, which would have been the 90s, the early 90s, very late 80s Cavalier. But the Sierra, I think Sierra came in, 82 was it? I think the first Sierra came out. And that was like the first car, certainly on British roads, that had that really rounded smoothness. It got rid of the angles, which is ironic, really, because the first Sierras that hit the roads on the UK were actually Ford Cortinas. They basically just shoved a different body on the Ford Cortina, and they had to recall them because the suspension didn't work at the back and they were very unstable. Anyway, I'm geeking.
I think it was Corgi, Paul, that did the James Bond stuff back then. I don't think Matchbox did. I could be wrong. But I know that Corgi did the small Lotus and they did the bigger one as well.
Mm.
I don't
the one with the little firing missiles at the back, Yeah, a nice try, that.
Yeah. Can you get the TV license, man?
No, you have to have a TV license for that one.
So yeah, that were my pickups of this week. Anyway, there was one other that arrived at the shop today, and I completely forgot to bring it with me. And that was it's a Blu-ray. Oh no, there's one other thing here, isn't there? I said I'm going to show you as well. So there we are. It's me vag.
Funny.
I had to have this when I saw the colours on and it's glow in the dark as well. So it ticks several boxes for me. You've got the fact that it's a Japanese Sofubi toy, neon colours, glow in the dark. It's a monster. It's a kaiju type thing. Yeah, that was coming home with me. That was coming home with me. Also, Paul, I had the White Lotus small version as a car in the water. I think it was Corgi. Yeah, I'm fairly sure it was Corgi, that one. Cars are very dull these days. Yes, they are. Yeah. Like we say, they do all tend to look the same. Martin went to the Great British Car Journey Museum at Derby on Sunday. Saw some cool cars there. That Mini was nice. Whoa. Might look into visiting himself. Cool. Mini with 5 miles on the clock, never been registered for the road, still all the build stickers on and protective covers
Nice. Tasty.
on. Wow. Wow. As Ed consumed a car encyclopedia, it's just what he's into.
That's just stuff I know.
The knowledge.
When I was a kid, I always wanted a Capri so I could jump in and out of it like the professionals. And slide across the bonnet, don't forget that.
Yeah. The thing is, the interesting thing with the Capris from the professionals were, the first series, it was a Capri and an Escort RS2000, that they had. But then the second series onwards, they both had Capris. But the Capris that they used weren't actual standard models. There were the 3-litre S's, but they had the gear body kits on. And those were the only 2 cars in the country like that. So when if you see on like websites or things like that, when people claim to have the cars used in professionals,
Perfect timing.
yeah, it's the lying because those were the only 2. But anyway, there was a silver one and a gold one.
They did the same with the Jaguar, put the body on a Ford Taurus chassis.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for confirming for that. The hunt starts. Dave has a Capri. He certainly does. I have seen a few Capris in Vanguard as well.
Capris are nice.
See, the thing is, I think the thing with the Escorts is these do take me back to my childhood because 3 of my uncles had Escorts, Fiestas, Capris. So when I see even the models of them, it takes me back to when I was a kid and just seeing them parked up outside the house when they came to visit my mum. So there is that sense of nostalgia there for me. And some of them, that green isn't a colour that they did their cars up in, but they were frequently stripping and repainting them. It was just something that they did, particularly the Mark 1s and 2s that they had, which look nothing like these.
Mark 1 Escort had this what I call the spanner grill.
Yeah,
it's like a slip went round the lights.
I'm talking like the Mexico type ones that they had.
Yeah, the Mark 1.
Yeah, the Mark 1 and the Mark 2. It's weird how they change so drastically in shape.
Yeah, well, there were 2 variants on the Mark 2 because you had the round headlight Mark 2 and then you had the square headlight Mark 2.
Yeah. Cars are just old cars with butt your garage is in the mansion, Martin. I know the first Tesla was designed from a Lotus Esprit Mark 1. Okay. Dave knows bugger all about cars. He just buys the ones that look pretty.
Well, the Lotus that's in Spy Who Loved Me, the goldy coloured one, the bronzy coloured Lotus that's in the Bond film. That's the actual only one. That's the prototype. So they had to be very, very careful with it. That's why it looks different to the production Lotus.
Oh, nice. Very nice. You just told me, though.
He knows that.
Cool.
Ford Sierra Taurus.
We had a Mercury Capri Mustang lookalike. Cool. In the 80s. Dave's dad had a Cortina for a while. Favourite Ford is the Harrison Ford. The Ford Harrison. How have they never done that? How have they never brought out a model called the Ford Harrison? Comes with a bullwhip. For the back seat. I love Robocop's car.
Yeah, Taurus, yeah.
As I got older, I wanted a Sierra Cosworth with the things that look like wings on the back. Yeah.
Yeah, the big Cosy spoiler and that, yeah.
Yeah, the Cosworth's nice. Provisional license holder, and I own a 3-litre V6 Merc. Accident waiting to happen.
Actually, no, listen, right? Actually, quite sensible is that because, first time drivers, like if you're just passing your test and first time drivers, don't go for stuff like Ford cars or the things like insurance group 1s and 3s and stuff. The things that you think are going to be cheap. Yeah, go for something really left field, something like a I don't know, like I say, a 3-litre Merc or something like that, because the insurance companies don't have any statistical data on those. Yeah. And new drivers. So you'll find that you'll get cheap insurance quotes for stuff like
That's
that.
interesting.
Clever.
Yeah.
Unless we've got
So-
so where he rides a Harley. Does he?
Does he what?
RoboCop actually ride a Harley in RoboCop 2?
He does use a
Yes,
bike
yeah.
at some point, I think.
How do those metal legs go around that shape?
More to the point, well, how does the suspension handle what is presumably his fairly considerable weight?
Well, in the film, you see the bike does, like, as he
Do that.
sits on it. It's the, is it the leather tail? Do they call it a leather tail? It's the same one that is in Terminator 2.
No.
It's that Harley. But obviously, it doesn't have all the extra paraphernalia on it.
You must see
Now,
RoboCop.
don't bet on it.
There's lots of films that I must see, Martin, including the one that arrived today, which I'll show you next time. Buy a really nice car, you'll be terrified of breaking it and drive like a granny. Doesn't he drive into a street lamp? It's a comical sound effect.
It's when he's holding onto the side of the money van that
Is it a
Kane's
soft tail?
driving.
Yeah.
And Kane swerves, he hits the thing and he dunk, and he drops off,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Is it a soft tail?
It must be soft tail,
Soft
yeah.
tail.
Not leather tail. I said leather tail, didn't I?
Yeah,
Soft
when
tail.
you said it, I was thinking, I'm sure that's not right, but I'm not the right person to correct you.
No, if you think it's wrong, point it out.
I've got a soft tail in the shop window. That's
Yes, you do, yeah.
Massive one. Yeah.
Yeah, we learn by knowing.
Rambo. Yes, he does.
Rambo.
Right, well, we've done our 2 hours.
Well,
Right, good night, folks.
yeah, see ya.
Is there anything else? Is there anything else for the ladies and gentlemen in the chat, or are we done?
Thanks for coming. You've been a right laugh.
Yes, always. We couldn't do it without you. Well, we could, but it'd be pointless. They seem to be making a lot of old films. They've been doing that since the 80s. I've got to say though, I saw the trailer for The Running Man. I'm sold.
Uh,
I've not seen it yet. Not seen the trailer yet.
I wasn't sure if it was a real trailer, or if it was one of those kind of made up trailers. But
No, it is real, but I think it's different enough from the original film.
It's been emotional, Paul. Yes, it has.
Yeah, it's different enough from the original film, and I think it offers a lot of different stuff than what the old film did. So yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to it. And I mean, the guy they've picked is nothing like
No.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Which, to be fair, if memory serves, is more like how he is in the book.
Yeah, well, I think it's supposed to be more accurate to the book.
Yeah, and it's the same with Total Recall. In the book Total Recall, it's not a muscle-bound guy. It's just like a normal, everyday kind of bloke kind of thing. But no, I've not seen the trailer for it yet. I'm still kind of...
Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays now, Lord Malvader. Sorry.
I'm still kind of... I'm still kind of buffering, I think is probably the best word, after seeing the trailer for Superman. Because it's
getting a lot of good
it's
press.
But the thing is, though, I just can't... It was when he turned around and said, dude, and I was like, what? Superman saying dude? And then I thought, then I remembered it's James Gunn. And I was like, and it's just like, maybe I need to get hip and get down with the young kids and stuff like that. I don't know. But it was just like, I just can't, I mean, but then I can't see anyone else playing Superman than Christopher Reeve, but that's beside the point. But yeah, he said dude, and I was like, oh, I don't know.
Thank you.
I don't know.
Definitely won't. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be in a rush to see it.
No. I'll be going to the high seas myself.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I'm still, probably wrongly, hung up on the fact that this is the relaunching of a new universe. They've chosen Superman to do it with, which is fine. That is exactly how you should relaunch a DC universe. But for crying out loud, it is Superman. This is the granddaddy of all superheroes, comic book heroes. He's the one who can stand on his own 2 feet. Why in his first premiere film does he have to be held up by the Justice League or Society, depending on what they're going with? I think, if anything, they should just be cameos, but they seem like it's a big part of the film. So just give us Superman.
Yeah, I think it's probably been said before. Yeah, it's probably been said before. It's probably been said more eloquently as well. But I think I'm getting a bit of a Guardians of the Galaxy vibe from it as well.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to be an ensemble piece kind of thing. You know, I think Crewman's going to be in there and that. And
I mean, he's saying the right things. He's gone. You know, he's saying some of the quotes he's been coming out with. He said that Guardians of the Galaxy was his homage or his ode to the movie industry, whereas Superman is his ode to comic books. And apparently it's very, very Silver Age.
I can't talk at the minute. Can you ring me back? Yeah. Well, no, you've tried ringing Andy, haven't you? Yeah, no, Andy won't answer it. Okay, yeah, you just phone him back in about 20 minutes and he'll pick up. Okay, see you then. Bye. Sorry about that. It's Andy, can you answer your phone in about 20 minutes when we've done?
I will do.
That rent boy wants to speak to you.
Yeah,
I'm not dismissing it out of hand. That's the point. I'm not dismissing it out of hand. I was just a bit kind of Superman saying dude.
There's been a few things that I've seen in the trailer that I've been a little bit... But is that because I've got my expectations of what Superman should be? And in all fairness, Superman is many things.
Well, that's the thing.
There's a lot of interpretations.
I saw the trailer in the cinema watching F1, and the music was cleverly done.
I mean, the thing is, I mean, you know, agree or disagree, but I think Christopher Reeve did such a good job with Superman back in the 70s. I think that is really, really going to be hard to top, you know, because there's a generation. I mean, I know every generation has their iteration of a comic book character and this and that, but I think Christopher Reeve's Superman was that good. It is a multi-generational thing, and it was just a case of, there was no muscle suits, there was no fancy special effects, there was nothing. It was just a pure comic book film. It was wholesome, and it was just so good. And, and the story was just so good as well. So I don't know, but then again, I didn't have a problem with Henry Cavill Superman. And, he got shot. He got shafted.
He got shafted, yeah.
Essentially. Got absolutely shafted, did that lad and that character from the other videos. But again, I never had particular much issue with Snyder's vision for the DC characters. I'm of the opinion that DC characters should be a little darker than Marvel. Yeah. Marvel is your bright colours comic book. Your DC is your bit of a grey, dark area, kind of
But again,
thing.
I think some DC characters, I guess that varies for depending on who's writing the comic at that particular point in time.
Does indeed.
Yeah.
Sorry, what was that, Andy?
I'm saying sometimes I think it depends on who's in charge of the comic at any given point in time as well. Aimed.
There is an element of what I've heard about from this film that Gunn has said himself that he reckons that Corin Sweat, the new actor, is his Clark Kent is the most visually different to Superman that we've ever had before in movies and TV. Because once they've tousled his hair up and put his glasses on, he does physically look different. But they're also using the excuse that came out in apparently one of the 60s or 70s comics that he wears glasses that have
hypno glasses,
the power to hypnotize people. It's like, what?
But the thing is though, I mean, he's right. It is in the comics.
It is. But it's one of those things that's barely, if ever, been used again because it's ridiculous.
I don't know. I suppose it depends where you're coming from. It in some respects,
I mean, in
it
all
would
fairness, I
make
think
sense.
Crypto the Super Dog is ridiculous as well.
Well, yes, yeah. I
But
mean, it would make sense because, like I said, I mean, even Batman's costume isn't really that great of a disguise. Yeah,
No.
because it's like, so you can tell someone from their
As
mouth.
soon as, well, as soon as facial recognition and everything else became a thing, the whole thing kind of fell apart, didn't it? Let's face it.
Yeah.
So.
Bruce Wayne's Batman? No.
I enjoyed the characters in Black Adam that weren't Black Adam and would like to see Hawkman and Dr. Fate explored more.
Yeah,
I mean, the only other thing I've got,
You've been quiet
the only
all
thing
night.
I've got, the only other thing I've got with James Gunn's, well, it's not with him, but the vision that they've got at the moment for the DC universe going forward is the selectiveness of what characters they're keeping from the old Snyder universe coming through to this new one. See you, Andy.
Bye, Andy.
Oh, hello, Andy.
I've been saying I just need to pop off for a minute. Okay, so
He's going to pop on off.
It was, because it's like the keeping Peacemaker and all the characters that's in Peacemaker, and it's like, that's surprising because that's a show you did, and it's also got your wife in it. So is it like, is
And
the
his
nepotism in play? Yeah, and his brother, yeah. So is there a bit of nepotism in play there as to why that part of the old DC universe is being carried forward, but none of the other stuff is?
It's, Josh is saying here, we would have thought that it would give us more of the movies based on the big popular characters, but after Superman, he's moving on to side characters like Clayface and Sergeant Slaughter. Clayface, right. I can see that working quite well as a horror film, to be honest with you. And I think that fits quite well in James Gunn's wheelhouse. Didn't he give us Slither back in the day? He used to do those kind of things. Slither, it's the one with the slug type things. It was a B horror movie type thing in the early 2000s before he became big.
All right.
I'll
have to go back.
I think it's called Slither.
It sounds vaguely familiar. Yeah. I'm getting the picture of like on the DVD, the video cover, like a black cover with just like a little bit of a reddy black kind of worm or something on it.
No, it was like a bath with a woman. I think her legs sort of like hanging out the bath and all these slug type things.
Oh, yes, I know what you mean.
Yeah,
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Well, it's that one.
Right.
So I think Clayface could lead to being quite a quirky horror film. Just because of the nature of it, body horror and everything. Sergeant Slaughter, I suppose it's one of those characters that we've not... Sergeant Slaughter, is it Sergeant Slaughter or Sergeant Rock? Is it Sergeant Rock, you mean?
I say Sergeant Slaughter's from G.I. Joe, isn't it?
Yeah, I think you mean Sergeant Rock. In which case, war film? Why not a war film? They recently did, in the comics, Sergeant Rock versus the Army of Darkness, I think. That could be an interesting project. But yeah, it would be nice to see him tackling, Superman and then move on to Batman or Wonder Woman or something like that. Richard says last time he watched all the Reeve Superman films, 3 wasn't as good as he remembered and 4 was the first time watch. It was dumb fun. In that viewing, it was better than 3. Okay.
Yeah, they do get...
Ben says if he takes his glasses off, it's completely different. Is that a thing? Now, I see completely different. I don't want to say completely different.
You look different because I can't see you now.
Dave says he likes a bit of ridiculous in his comic book movies, to be fair. I think it depends on the movies. Yeah, it does depend on the movies. True Dave, I like to see a bit more Dr. Fate. I'm going to put these back on.
Yeah, he's got a point. Lasso of Truth, Invisible Plane.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Yeah. One of the greatest lines the only thing I'd step aside there or come back at you with there is the hypnosis glasses are one of those things that popped up decades ago. Once it were mentioned, and it might have been mentioned once or twice since. The Lasso of Truth, though, is mentioned all the time. She's always had the Lasso of Truth. It's always been a thing. And same for the Invisible Plane, rightly or wrongly. One of the greatest lines I remember from a film was Batman. You ever dance with the devil in the pale Moonlight. Oh, there we go.
Oh,
Moonlight. There we are. Yeah, definitely. Talking of glasses being a great disguise, when is a set of Mystery Men figures going to be released? Probably never. Andy's back.
I'm back. Kids. Sorry.
Personally, I'm happy to see other characters given a chance rather than doing all the big boys over and over again. Yeah, but I'd like to see the big boys being able to stand on their own 2 feet. I think that's what I'm getting at.
I think that's a more solid intro. That's what Marvel did. They started building with the key characters.
Yeah.
So
Iron Man, Hulk, Captain America, Thor, then the Avengers.
Exactly.
Yeah. In fact, one of the biggest criticisms that Snyder's DC universe faced was that he was rushing to the Justice League far too quickly.
Yeah, but that was down to Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers.
That was Warner Brothers
to
pushing
do
it.
that.
So you had Man of Steel,
Yeah.
Batman versus Superman, which put the two of them together, introduced Wonder Woman, introduced Aquaman, introduced Flash, introduced... Did it introduce Cyborg? Oh, Cyborg and Flash and Aquaman were sort of like...
They were later. They were the next one.
They were in there, but they were just cameo appearances on the screen.
Yes, they were little flashy hints.
But then the next film, you had them all in it again. Yeah? They were all there. Whereas... If those people that think that that's too quickly, then launching with everything together is much worse, I'd say.
You see, I just kind of get the
Is that the
feeling
one?
that DC now trying to copy the Marvel format is 10 years too late. And I think I don't know. Maybe comic book movies have just had the day. Maybe it's just time for something else now.
2 versions of Batman is a strange choice as well. I would have connected Robert Pattinson's Batman to the new universe.
Oh, no.
I think his version, that film, is too tonally dark to be connected to this Superman. I don't think they could exist in the same world.
No, I mean,
but as yet, they don't even have a script for Batman 2.
No, I've watched it 3 times, that Pattinson Batman film.
Yeah.
And it's a good storyline, but I don't particularly like it as a Batman film. I think it's got a storyline that you could have attributed it to a generic superhero and it would still have worked.
Or a generic detective.
Yeah, or a generic detective, yeah.
You've seen it 3 more times than me, by the way.
It's not... it's not a great Batman film for me, and the thing that does it for me is there's no distinct.
Is it actually finished, Josh? Because what I was seeing the other day was that they still hadn't even commissioned it.
Right.
That's interesting.
Yeah, there's no distinct difference between the characters of Batman and Bruce Wayne. Within that universe, if you met Robert Pattinson's Bruce Wayne in that universe, you just look at him and go, that's Batman. Because it's just like, there's just no, like Batman has always had a distinctly different character than Bruce Wayne. Where in Pattinson's, he's just like he's emo Batman, yeah? He's just sort of like, he's like a surly,
As of yesterday, the script was finished.
Right.
3 days ago, sorry. Okay, I'm 3 days behind the times.
But yeah, anyway. And then making Selena Kyle, Catwoman, the daughter of... what's his name now? Was it Falcone?
Oh, yeah.
Falcone character.
Type chap, yeah.
Yeah. Which is like, no, stop. Which it's probably happened in a comic book at some point, but if like it, you like it.
I would like a Hitman film based on the Garth Ennis character. If it's good, you can have him be sick on Batman's boots in a future film.
Well, to be fair, I'd like to see another...
Just wheel his corpse out on a trolley.
I'd like to see a third Kick-Ass film, but and then a Hit Girl film. Because I mean that first Kick-Ass film.
For it.
Oh, there is. Yeah, I've got the graphic novels and that, but Yeah, that first Kick-Ass film, that was great. I loved that. That was just a really good film.
We laugh at this, and Dave says CGI. Yes, they've just announced, haven't they, that they're making another Fast and the Furious film, and that it will star Paul Walker's Brian. It's been dead 10 years.
Good Lord.
I mean, I know that
they got since he died.
Well, it must be. It must be 10 years.
It's a while. Yeah.
But I mean, I know they got the family's blessing and everything in order to finish off the film that they were doing and nicely write him out of it moving forward. But bringing him back all these years later, why? I mean, it's not like the films aren't still making money and they need him in it, because they're still making bank, aren't they?
It would seem so. Given who's in them, it can't be cheap to pull those together.
No. And it's going to be even more expensive if they've got to create a character.
Hang on a minute. Just give me a minute. Let me just screen grab that. Someone's agreed with me.
Since you all have glasses on, and I wear glasses, do we all look at the case catalogue and finish on the Star Wars section? It would explain a lot. Swamp Thing film, Constantine 2, maybe a mashup film later down the lane. Do you think? I mean, I look forward to the Constantine 2.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
Constantine 2.
That's taken a while, hasn't it?
Yeah. And they brought Bobby Ewing back.
Yeah, they did, yeah.
I think there's way too many Fast and Furious films. I remember seeing the first, and for me, that was enough of a story. They are so different as you move on. So different. In fact, the first 4 are 4 very different films. Very different films.
Well,
and then they become sort of like a thing where they all follow on from each other.
Yeah.
I mean, I've only seen the first and the third one, and that's it. The first one was enjoyable, but it was like Point Break with cars.
Yeah.
And then the third one was just sort of like a generic kind of like, stranger in a strange land, getting to know someone and overcoming the odds kind of thing. It could have been an 80s film. It could have been like Karate Kid with cars,
with cars.
Kind of thing.
So the first one,
they're not.
He didn't die in the first one because he was in the second.
They're not. Yeah, they're not. Like I said, the first and the third one, they're not offensive films. They're enjoyable, for a couple of hours.
Marvel should stop trotting around and make a New Warriors movie. A New Warriors of Virtue movie.
Virtue Warriors. That sounds familiar. What, do they go around sort of like defending pronouns? And
it's gone from a heist movie to an action movie. It has.
Yeah,
it has. It's very different now to what they were.
Their superhero costumes
so
are dungarees. Yeah. The superhero costumes are dungarees, Doc Martens, and the hair shaved at one side and then dyed blue.
Janu hasn't liked any of the Constantine 2 scripts. Hopefully when it's made it will be good then. Oh, really? All right. Okay.
All right.
I've not been keeping up on that. Fast and the Furious 12
Robo Walker.
He thought he face in the last one, didn't they?
Yeah.
Fast and the Furious 12. He thought he was dead. He was wrong.
See, I actually like the 4th one. That's when it really started for me. I mean, I did enjoy the others, but the 4th one was when they kind of like started bringing everything together. I quite liked that.
Right, tell you what, I've got a recommendation here. I don't do this often, but there's a recommendation for people that's still watching, yeah? If they want what the next Fast and Furious film should be, head to YouTube and check out a film called Psychomania. Yeah, Psychomania. It's an old 70s British film, yeah? It's brilliant. You'll love it. It's got Beryl Reid in it and George Sanders, yeah?
And it's on YouTube.
And it's on YouTube. You can watch the full film on YouTube. It's called Psychomania. That's what the next Fast and Furious film should be.
Okay. But we did try signing off 20 minutes ago. So let's finish signing off now. Andy, what have you got coming up this week?
This week, I'll mainly be putting my Ed head on and doing a Transformers video, shockingly.
Okay. When will that be?
That will be tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. as per usual.
There we
Can you
are.
tell us what Transformer you will be discussing, or will it be a surprise?
It's not much of a surprise. 'Cause it's in the thumbnail. It's Lambor or Sideswipe or both, possibly.
Poor Phil, says Dave.
Yep. Sorry, Phil. With apologies to Phil.
And what you'll have to do is
And virtually everyone else who is just going to have to watch me trying to transform a masterpiece transformer.
Fourth is okay. Fifth is the best. The Rock is probably the worst part. His poor acting did fit the role better in future installments. Ed, what have you got coming up?
let me see now. What day are we on? Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Right, I have got on Sunday the next episode of Ed's Transformers. On Tuesday, I have got the next episode of Plastic Diecast and Rubber Tires. And then next Thursday, I will have
He's coming.
the next episode of the Collector's Archive. And I will be chatting to Lucas from Robo Lucas.
Oh, okay, cool.
So that's what's coming up. That's only regularity. And then let me just check my board here. There will be some what's new in the vault because there'll be some stuff coming in. And then I think I'll do it this Sunday because there's no Toy Me, Toy You this Sunday. So I believe I may be playing some Spectrum again this Sunday.
Spectrum!
Indeed. Because people seem to have enjoyed it. So
Okay, cool.
why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't you?
Well, I was going to say that on Friday I've got the latest episode of the Not So Pack and Chat.
Mm-hmm.
But Avid Loads, I've just realised I ain't even edited it yet.
So you're not.
So I know what I'm doing tomorrow, don't I? With any luck, that should be going up on Friday. Beyond that, we will have a stream or something on Tuesday from the shop. It'll either be a little look at something in the shop or whatever's been brought in. There's just not been any trade-ins, and there's not been much in the last couple of weeks worth sharing, which is why this time we had a little tour of the shop yesterday. But I think people liked it, so I might do.
Yeah, it was nice. It was
Might do
nice to
stuff
see
like
it.
that.
So.
And they are bringing back Toxic Crusader. And obviously there's even more shorts coming out of these things every bloody day. I just actually finished one off before going live tonight.
Going live. We need to talk about that Stacks as well.
Stacks, all right, okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Never seen Godfather or been to a Subway. So bad, it was good. Night All says Gap. Cheers, Council. Great show. Cheers to all in the chat. Well, thank you very much. Oh God, I thought that was it. There's more. Thank you from Mario. Bye again. Have a great weekend. Everyone going. Enjoy Doncaster. Yeah, I'll be at Doncaster on Sunday. If anyone wants to come and say hi. Have a good fortnight, everyone. Take care, everyone.
Yeah, happy 4th of July to our American viewers.
Of course, yeah, to you guys over there. Happy 4th of July. Yeah.
Enjoy your illegal fireworks.
Illegal fireworks. Are they illegal?
I don't know.
Speaking of shorts, Peter Dinklage is the new Toxic Avenger. He certainly is.
Talking of Americans, may I just quickly add, right? Talking of Americans and algorithms, I saw the most bizarrest YouTube video today. Yeah. It was this very eloquent but rather large, and I'm talking muscular large, American chap with a plethora of guns shooting bullets into a biologically accurate Tyrannosaurus Rex head.
As you do.
Yeah, so basically they'd made this Tyrannosaurus full-size T-Rex head with the bone density correct and the skin and the flesh density correct, and he was trying to test the theory what gun you could have to protect yourself against a T-Rex. Absolutely bonkers, but I watched the full half hour of it, and I was absolutely gripped.
Does anybody else think this Ed bloke talks a lot?
I only talk a lot if you watch a lot. If you don't watch a lot, then I don't talk a lot. Funny that, isn't it?
It's a kind of magic.
Okay. Steve's seen that video.
Yeah, it's absolutely bonkers, but I loved it.
This needs an hour more chat. Sounds amazing.
I'll get the link and I'll put it up on the. If you're in the WhatsApp
Tune in
group,
to Ed's channel this Sunday evening.
I'll put it in the WhatsApp group. The link for it. Absolutely bonkers. Some of the guns, the bullets, they're like this. It's absolutely bonkers, but I loved it. Half hour of it.
And you can get them at Walmart.
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
And the
All
gun
you need
was.
is this one.
And the gun was.
I can't remember what it was called, but the
okay.
bullets were like this big for it. And he held it, and it was like, yeah.
Out of curiosity, so it would kill a T-Rex. Do you think it would kill Godzilla?
I don't know. It depends. If it were a Tuesday, perhaps.
Nerves zipping. Nerves zipping.
Tuesday.
Right then. Good night, everyone. It's been a blast.
Take care. All the best.
Yeah. Good night.
Good night.